Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with Real Deal Talk. Here we go. Another episode. And this dude that I got in the studio today, Brendan Boyd. I'm so fascinated by you, man. I'm just telling you. I've been watching this. So I met Brendan, and this is a perfect example, and I talk about this a lot, is, you know, in your life, we're a product of who we surround ourselves with. And at the end of the day, if you want to change your kind of your circumstances, you got to start surrounding yourself with different people. And the way that's going to happen is you're going to have to get out there, get yourself out there and meet people, connect with people. This guy right here, Brendan Boyd, we met on the fly. So I went on the Cody Cottle show. Shout out to Cody Cottle. This dude, young buck, up and coming. He is pumping out content. He is on fire. If you're not following him already, follow Cody Cottle. The dude is just doing incredible things. So, so anyway, I went on Cody's podcast. And Brendan Boyd was on his way in. I was on my way out. Like literally, hey, what's up? You know, bro, shake, and gone. And then I reached out on DM we connected on Instagram, right? And next thing you know, he's now here in the studio and I'm going to allow I want you to describe exactly what you do, because it's one of the most unique things that I've heard so far, and it's and for me, because this is just a passion project for me. Everybody that my listeners and watchers know that this is just me pouring out my passion and digging into people's backstories and revealing them to the world, because all that drives me every day is to make a difference and make an impact. So I'm, you know, leveraging my guest voices to tell their story to make an impact and inspire people, right? So now this Brendan Boyd here, he specializes in podcasts and guys getting people getting their brand out there. So go ahead, hit me with what you're doing here, and then I'll describe what the get up today.
Yeah, 100%, man. Well, first of all, I have to say I'm super grateful to be here. I appreciate it. Obviously, this is the last Friday of 2023.
Yes,
like this is it.
There's
no more Fridays.
This is it.
It's the last one. So just having the opportunity to be here, be on your platform, connect with you a little bit deeper, spend some time, is great, and I'm super appreciative and grateful for that opportunity.
Of course.
So before we kind of get into, what I do, I don't want people to miss out on how we connected.
Yep.
Right? Because those moments are opportunities, and we all get those opportunities every single day.
We do.
We just choose if we should or shouldn't, and a lot of people don't, right? Because they're in their head on, I don't want to sound a certain way. I don't want to come up, that person's busy, or they got the standoff face or whatever, right? But we had moments, right? I didn't even know you was gonna be there, right?
Yeah.
You didn't know I was gonna be
No
there,
idea.
right? I could have came later, and then missed you.
Yep.
Right. So I saw you, and obviously you saw me. But number one, I was drawn to the colors, right? So I mean, if people that are tuning into you, they know what the brand colors are, right? So red, black, white, and I'm actually wearing red, black, white today too.
He
right?
walked in with red.
I knew
black.
what the assignment was.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? So something drew me to you, right? And the colors could have had something to do with it, but I knew that there was something about you, and I had to make a connection, right? We only had a moment, right, or a couple of moments.
Not even.
Right, but by saying something and extending a conversation, right, that allowed us to be here. So that seed that was planted, right, it's now starting to blossom.
That's right.
So the first leaf on that is us being here.
That's right.
With a bigger opportunity to connect, build, and impact some people, right? So what I do is simply that, but just on a higher scale. So if you're a business owner or entrepreneur and you need to get your message out there, you want to grow your business, you want to connect with more people, it's not because your strategy is off. It's not because you need new software or you got to fix your back end. Yeah, those things are important. But it's simple math. If more people know about who you are, you'll do more sales.
Right.
Because your client avatar exists in other markets, or maybe in your same market, but they just don't know you exist. So I help them get on more podcasts and tell their story so they can, connect with more of their clients and share exactly what they do, right? So they can help more people.
Yep. And we're gonna dig into this further, like later on in the interview. We're gonna dig further into this, right? And Brendan, and I want people to make sure they understand here. This isn't just about being a podcaster or getting this. It's about whatever business they're in.
100%.
People get to know who they are and what they do.
Listen, you remember, it's still going on. The Tonight Show,
Oh, yeah.
Arsenio Hall,
Yep.
Oprah, Dr. Phil. Those are all platforms, right? So back then, you had to be at a certain stature
Right.
to get on those platforms. Those platforms would automatically elevate your brand. You know what I mean? You get the co-sign from Oprah or Dr. Phil or Arsenio Hall or whatever the case may be, right? So nowadays, those platforms exist in a form of podcast, and they're super attainable, right? I have a strategy that I teach called the 52W, right? That's one podcast a week for 52 weeks. That's 52 different platforms that you can get on, and you can do it for free because there's a lot of free platforms, right, virtual or in person, that you can come on, and people would love to have you, right? So if you spend 30 minutes of your time, let's say a day, and just wasting it talking to your aunt, your uncle, your cousin, right? Because people know when sometimes the name might pop up on a call ID. You know it's 40 minutes on it.
Oh yeah,
right. So if you do that, then you can invest the same amount of time in your business. So if you do that once a week, that's 52 different opportunities for people to get to know you.
Yep.
And because it's a podcast, it's evergreen. So that's on the audio side, that's on the video side. And then we give you the strategy and the system to say, okay, cool, we can actually use that one piece of content and break that down into several pieces of content on multiple channels, and they're all evergreen. So you could be discovered, and it could be compounded over and over and over and over and over, right?
Yeah.
You just mix that in. So you'll go on some free ones. Maybe you'll pay a little bit and go on one that has a bigger audience. Maybe you'll invest a little bit more and go on like one that has a huge audience, right? But you want to continue to marketing is important.
Yep.
Getting your message out there is important. I used to say to my friend, homeless people outside, they know something that a lot of veteran business owners don't. And that is they got a message, right? They're going to get in front of an audience and they got a cup. So every single day they're at a particular corner.
Yep.
And they know it's going to be 50 cars every red light, right? 100 cars every red light. So from 12 to 6, I'm on this corner. From 6 to 8, I'm on this other one because the traffic's going to be different over here. They're going where the audience is at with their message, right? It could be funny. It could be direct. You know what I'm saying? It could be something that's heartfelt. And they got their cup, right? They got a way people can pay them. They got a way people to receive the messages, right?
Yep.
Most business owners aren't doing that, right? They're relying on word of mouth. They're relying on referrals. And then if business doesn't happen today or this week, or if it's down, they're just like, oh man, well, I don't know what to do.
Yep.
You need to tell more people about what it is that you do. That's the problem. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And one of the reasons why I have this whole thing on right now is because it's really a symbol to show people that they need to stop hiding.
Right.
They need to stop being behind a laptop. They need to be a little bit more assertive, right? They need to go on more platforms. They need to, one thing is, if you're in business, right, you're supposed to help people.
Exactly.
Right? That's God's design is for you to help people. You have a gift, right?
Yep.
You're in business to help people. There's nothing wrong with you getting paid for your product or service. As a matter of fact, that's what you're supposed to do.
Yep.
But if no one knows you exist, you aren't able to do the service.
Yep.
Right? And then what happens? You start suffering, your family starts suffering, right? Stress, you quit. You might end up taking a job or something, and now that's something that you don't want to do, right?
Yep.
And it can all be solved if you are passionate about what you do and how you help people, and you just continue to let more and more people know. That needs to be a part of your business model. That needs to be a part of your business plan, right? And it's a form of marketing.
And Brennan, this is but this is only for people that truly believe in their business and their brand and what they're like you said, to help people.
Yeah.
If they're just literally trying to make money,
that ain't it.
It ain't it.
That ain't it.
Right? It's not going to work.
You're
definitely not going to work for the long haul. So if whatever you're doing, especially in entrepreneurship, because a lot of people, when I first went into entrepreneurship, it was all about the money. Money.
Yeah.
Then when it disappeared in 90 days, how fast money came and went, I'm like, oh, I can't chase money because this isn't going to last. The point is, you got to chase service. Whatever you're doing, whatever business you have, if you don't wholeheartedly believe that you have the best product or the best service in that arena, if you don't believe that in your heart and that you are here to change lives and impact the world in a positive way with what you're doing and how you're doing it, then you got to find something else.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
It's not going to work.
It's not going to work at all.
All right, so we can keep going with this, but we're gonna stop and go back to we're going to go back. We're going to dig out your backstory here, brother. I want people to know, Brendan, to this level that you're at now, how did you get to this level? We're going to go all the way back. and we're going to dig in
Let's do
to
it.
the backstory.
Let's
We're going to get. There's a mountain of gold in there, and we're going to bring it out so people can hear this story. Let's go back. Where were you born and raised?
Boston, Massachusetts.
No way.
Yeah, that's where I'm from.
I had no idea.
Are you from Boston?
No, I'm from Jersey.
Okay.
But I didn't know you.
Okay.
Yeah.
My family's originally from Jersey.
No way.
East Orange.
Come on.
Yeah. But I was born in Boston.
Yeah.
And one of my cousins actually, he's in Montclair.
Dude,
so, yeah, right now. Yeah.
Montclair is where I was born.
Word. Okay.
I was born at Montclair, like whatever hospital it's called. I don't even remember the hospital, but I was born in Montclair. That's crazy.
Yeah. He lives there now. So he has he actually has 2 homes in Montclair.
No way.
Yeah.
Come on.
Actually, I helped him save one of his houses because he had called me. I think it was like 3 years ago, and I was still in real estate at the time, like a residential realtor.
Yeah.
And he's like, man, I think I should sell this house. I'm like, do you have to sell the house? He's like, well, not really. I'm like, all right, why don't you just rent it out?
Yeah.
Keep the cash flow,
Right.
and just get another house so you and your wife move into. And that house that he didn't sell is like, it brings in like I think $8,000 a month.
Oh my god.
And you know who rents it? Kerry Kittles. You remember Kerry,
Yeah.
the basketball player?
Yes.
He rents his house.
No way.
It's crazy, yeah.
Wow. Oh man, I had no idea. See, this is great. See, ladies and gentlemen, like Brendan said, we have all these opportunities to connect and meet people. We do every day. Meet people, connect.
Yeah. You know what? Okay, you remember Mario Brothers?
Yeah.
Okay, so in Mario Brothers, he would like jump and break bricks.
Yeah.
Things would pop out. He would jump and hit the little question box, and then things would pop out. There was never nothing bad that ever came out. It could be a shell, a wing, a tail. The Mario star made you invincible for a certain amount of time. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah.
The mushrooms made you get bigger and stronger.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when you meet people. So if you look at every single day, you go out into the world, even if you're doing it on social media.
Yeah.
These are different opportunities that I have that, I can unlock. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just met Caitlin. Like there might be something there. So
Yeah.
I just met her dad. There might be something there. But you and I are connecting. Everyone has something that they can offer you and you can offer them, but you need to start uncovering that by having these conversations.
I love this.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm digging this like big time because this is how I live. So I'm enjoying you getting in here and giving out this message, like defining the message, like and giving an analogy like that with Mario Brothers is phenomenal.
That's my favorite game all time.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
All right. Born and raised in you were born in Massachusetts.
Yep, raised
right?
in Boston. Mhm.
Okay, so keep going. What do you got? Give me childhood, parents. Parents, were they together? Did they stay
Nah,
together?
man. So
okay, tell me.
My mom and dad, they had I assume was a situationship. You know what I'm saying? So they weren't together.
Say that again.
A situationship. You know what I'm saying? They weren't together.
Okay.
I have a sister, and her and I are like 11 months apart on my dad's side. So my dad had he had 5 kids. I'm
Okay.
I'm an only child on my mom's side. So my
Got it.
mom died when I was 15 from drug abuse. My dad died when I was 12. Same thing, drug abuse.
Wow.
I've never had a relationship with my dad. Like he's the type of father that like, well, he would always promise that he's gonna come, take me out, come hang out.
Right.
I'd be on the stoop, he never show up.
Yeah.
But that would happen like consistently.
Yep.
I'm super excited. I'm about to see my dad hang out with my dad. Never show up. My mom, she loved me on a high level. I could feel it and I knew it, but her connection and addiction to substance abuse was so
Right.
strong that she couldn't mentally, her mindset wasn't strong enough.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So what happened was like my mom would always be like, come see me, right? Because she, like her and my grandmother, they used to buck heads because mom was abusing drugs, right?
Yep.
And my grandmother, she became my guardian, right? So my mom was always in and out of the house, halfway houses and stuff like that. So she would come and we would hang out and stuff, but like she would always give me options, you know what I'm saying? So it'd be like, you want to go hang out or you want to go, let's say, go to a store or something, or one time it was like WWE, but the option was like, do you want to go to WWE? Well, back then it was WWF.
Yeah,
or do you
yeah.
want to go with mommy? And when she said with mommy, that was like go to the crack house.
Right.
So I've been to several crack houses with my mom as a youngster, as a child, and I saw her do multiple drugs. Needles, everything. Coke, everything. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Obviously weed.
Yeah.
Crack.
Yep.
And I would go to these places. One spot she went to, the drug dealer dude, yo, he was mad nice.
Yeah.
I would be there a couple times, right? But he was hella nice. Like, he would always like ask how I'm doing. I was young, but I still knew what was going on. Asked me how I'm doing. Always checking in with me. Like, I just remember the energy that he projected, even though he had, what he was doing to monetize, the energy that he's putting out, at least how I was receiving it, he was just a nice person, right?
Yeah.
So I always remember that from him. So my mom died when I was 15. My grandmother who raised me, who was my mom, she died when I was 16, but she died because of smoking. Back in the day,
everybody,
80s, smoking was crazy. You could smoke on a plane. You could smoke indoors, right?
Yeah, they'd have non-smoking in the back and smoking in the front of the. Remember this?
Yeah.
Like, it's really gonna matter.
Yeah, 100%.
The kids today, Caitlin, you don't even know what we're talking about right now.
You could smoke on a plane, smoke on a bus.
Yeah. People would be smoking at the dinner table.
Yeah, and kids could go get the cigarettes.
Yeah, they'd be like this. They eat with a fork and crazy.
So my mom, my aunt, my uncle, who was a veteran, they all died because of smoking, cancer.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I grew up in a family home. So it was a triple-decker in Boston. So mom, me, grandma, second floor, my aunt and my cousin, third floor, my great-grandmom and my uncle, first floor. So it was like a family house, family unit. So my last memories of us all being together was probably when I was like 15. You know what I'm saying? Like,
wow.
So since 15, that whole idea of having a family, especially during holidays, like, I was void of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So my family wasn't huge, but we had pillars. You know what I'm saying? Like, my grandma, she was a matriarch. My mom, my cousin, aunt, uncle, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Great-grandmom.
Yep.
Then I had another great-grandmom. So, like, that was like the unit, So all throughout my childhood, up until about 15, holidays, everything. Like, we would do everything together.
Right.
But at that point, at 15, we got no dad. I mean, my dad didn't live there, but, he was around. I didn't have a relationship, but no dad, no mom. Grandmother died the next year. And then after that, we got my aunt eventually passing, my uncle eventually passing. And then my last year in high school, my aunt was still alive, but went to college. You know what I'm saying? So I went to college in Florida. And that first year...
Where'd you go? Where'd you go in Florida?
Yeah, I went to Bethune-Cookman. So I went to a historically black college as a freshman.
Right.
What I realized is the high school that I came from back home, the education was just on a higher level. So I ended up leaving year one, came back, went to Curry College in Milton, Massachusetts, private school, and I got a degree in English. But I didn't have that unit. I didn't have that family unit. Right. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of the personal development, my struggles and all that stuff, like, I faced those all on my own.
And so now, did your parents actually die of drug overdoses or just?
No, my mom. So what happened was, my mom passed away from double pneumonia. So she had a super weakened immune system, and my dad passed away actually from AIDS, right? Because he was in the streets crazy. So substance abuse, drugs and alcohol. So my recollection of them, they weren't together all throughout.
Right.
My upbringing. So that's why I'm saying they had a situationship. So
yeah.
He was doing his thing, and my mom, I would see her, in and out, but I never seen them together, like, doing stuff, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only picture that I recall of him, like, let's say being at the house, I was probably like 5 or 6. It was like Christmas, so a picture of him with me by the tree on Christmas. That was it.
That was it.
So when he passed, that whole family on my dad's side, I remember, like, yo, your dad passed. You want to come to the funeral? And I just remember being enraged. Like, nah, I'm not going to that. Like, why would I go to that? Like, he wasn't here at all when I was alive. I'm gonna go see him in a box like that. I ain't going
respects.
to that. Yeah, I ain't even do that. So I kind of held on to, like, being bitter for several years. Directly at him. Probably maybe about almost like a decade after that. You know what I'm saying, when he passed away. So at that point, I was like 22, like, just dealing with that. You know what I'm saying?
And how old are you now?
43.
43.
Yeah.
Man, you look so young.
Well, the thing about what people can't see right now, because obviously I got the mask on, is you can't see how amazing my skin is. You know what I'm saying? JD didn't even know how old I was when I walked in. You know what I'm saying? So
I would have bought late 20s. I would have bought early 30s.
Drink your water, people. You know
Drink
what I'm saying?
your water.
Get some sea moss, get some activity, stimulate your mindset. You got to stay active. And youth is actually on the inside.
It is.
You know what I mean? So
yeah, no doubt. All right, so when Grandma passed away, Who then basically raised you from that point forward?
I raised myself, man. I mean, when grandma passed away, I was 16. I was about to be 17, my last year of high school.
Yep.
So I did that one last year of high school. So I'm in a house by myself. My aunt's upstairs.
Yep.
My cousin moved out. She got married. Downstairs is my uncle. My great-grandmother ended up passing away. So it's my uncle on the first floor. I'm on 2. My aunt's on 3. So that last year of high school, it just went by. Now I'm in college, so I'm not at home. I'm doing my own thing. Got my car, got money. I'm chilling, whatever. I'm doing college.
What are you doing how are you making money at this point?
So I just got a job. I was working during college. It was like Foot Locker.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying. Foot Locker. But then I come back home. I'm living at home. I'm going to Curry College. I decided not to live on campus, like have my own spot. I mean, when you're in school, you got your own spot in a car, like
It's killer.
You know what I'm saying? So I decided to do that. And then I discovered that my grandma leaves me money through life insurance. So she's left me like a $150.
Yeah.
Through life insurance, right? But because of not having mentorships, no dad, no older brother, no uncles, no access to financial education or financial literacy,
right?
Like I blow that.
Oh yeah.
JD, I bought maybe 5 cars.
Oh,
a bike, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
150 G's at 20, forget it.
You're going crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, one of the things I also want to make sure that people understand is like, being financially literate and having access to financial education is important. Just like having an insurance instrument is important, and understanding how that can affect, your life, be there for you, and also set up the next generation. I mean, that's how the Rockefellers' whole system was set up. You know what I'm saying? Funded on cash value life insurances. So just imagine if I have an older person in my life that is financially literate, they could be like, hey, Brendan, listen, I know you're not going to pay attention to me. Like, you're going to do what you want with this money. But why don't you do what you want with $75,000 or $80,000? We're going to take this other half and we're going to reinvest it back into how grandmother ended up giving you the money. Like, let's kind of reverse engineer. How did you get access to this money? Let's put it back into the same instrument, right? But that wasn't around. I mean, that's what I would say to people now. But that, I didn't have that. So I was just spending it. You know what I mean? So it's important. Like, you got to think about the decisions that you're making today will affect what's going on tomorrow, 6 months, 12 months, and beyond. That's why it's extremely important.
Yep, exactly. So, all right. So you go back to college in Massachusetts, right? Mm-hmm. Tell me about the journey. How was college? Did you go through? Did you make the whole time? Did you graduate? Bachelor's?
Yeah, so I graduated summa cum laude. My grandmom always told me. So okay, I'll give it a real.
Tell me how, because this is crazy, and you have most people that would come on here and just pull the victim card about parents dying, but dude, you went to college.
Yeah.
For English.
I never felt bad about myself, bro. I never felt bad about my circumstances.
This is the same way I feel.
I always look at it like, if me and you are playing cards, you know what I'm saying? Let's say Caitlin's dealing right now. She gives you a hand, I get a hand.
Yeah.
Those are the hands, bro. Like we both have an opportunity to play the hands that we got to win the hand. You know what I mean? It's not like, oh, yo, can you re-deal, please? Like, nah, like you can't re-deal in life. That's why I really don't like where they give away participation trophies as for youth. It don't make no sense.
Yeah.
Life ain't give you nothing, no participation trophy.
Right.
So I just looked at it. I don't know why I got the insight, but
how did you get this?
I just looked at it like, okay, mom's passed, dad's passed, my grandma passed, my aunt passed, uncle passed, one of my brothers got shot, one of my best friends, he OD'd on Oxycontin. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, this is just what it is. You know what I'm saying? I didn't feel bad. Obviously, like I cried and I mourned. But at some point during that process, bro, I just got really numb. So going to another funeral was just like, I'm just waiting for the food. You know what I'm saying? I'm just waiting for the recession time so we can eat.
You got numb.
I'm numb. Like I done been through 4 funerals. I'm in the front. I'm in the back. Like I got a tattoo. I think, is it over here? Yeah, so I got a tattoo right here. And actually I have another one. So this says Lost Son. So basically at that time, this is how I felt. I felt like I was lost. However, going to college, my grandmother would say, and I only went because she passed, to be like,
really?
The irony, right? Yeah, because I was like, I ain't going to college. But one thing I recall, she was like, go to school for something that you enjoy. So I tried business. I didn't like it at the time.
Yep.
I tried communications. I didn't like it at the time. The only thing that I really liked was writing. So I was writing out how I felt. So going to creative writing courses, doing poetry, speaking. Ironically, I do all that now in my business, like communications, entrepreneurship, speaking. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Content creating and stuff like that. I didn't like none of that stuff when I was younger, but it allowed me to like grow and personally develop as I was going through the real life stuff.
Right.
So I would write these poems and like these random, like pages of how I felt. Or if I was on like the bus or a train, I would see someone or see an experience and I could write it out. But I was just pouring out everything that was inside of me. So it allowed me to heal, over time, and it was just really one of the things that really helped me grow, like being able to like consume content, like take what I was experiencing and then write it all out. So that's one of the ways that helped me to grow, but actually go through college.
Incredible.
Because I graduated with like a 3.5 summa cum laude, but I couldn't have done that if I was doing a business class because I just was not interested. Right. You know what I'm saying? I had to do what was authentic to me, and at the time, that's what it was.
So who did you had to have somebody that either made an impression on you, or was there a teacher? Was it I know grandma was big for you, right?
Yeah, grandma was big for me while she was here, 100%. Yeah.
Like, how did you? Because to get this type of
I just didn't.
It's crazy.
I can sit here. I would be lying if I said it was this person.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
There was no one in my life was stable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Even like so, the only male figure I mentioned was my uncle, but my uncle had PTSD from the war, so all he did was stay in a room all day and smoke, and he would have his like routine. He would go supermarket, drink his Pepsi, watch his shows, but he would literally be in his room and then just smoking them back. He used to smoke Pall Mall. He wasn't a drinker. He smoked Pall Mall. So he sent me to the store get some Pall Mall. It's like he did Pall Mall.
And Pall Mall for the young listeners.
Cigarettes, yep. Pall Mall
That's a type
cigarettes.
Of cigarette.
Yeah. My grandmother would do Salem.
Salem.
Yep. And then my mom would be Newport. So like they would send me to the store and they each had their own thing, right?
And back then you like at that age,
you could just go get it, man. I was 12, 13, 14.
And they sell you that no problem.
No problem. No ID. You know what I'm saying? Just like, oh, what's up, Jim? You know what it is. Like, give me the Salem.
The Pall Mall.
Give me the Pall Mall.
I haven't heard that. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Yeah, and my grandmother would do what's the other one? The one that had like the biggest brand with the cowboy. The cowboy.
Marble.
There you go.
Right, marbles.
So she did marbles.
Oh, the Reds.
Yeah. So she did. No.
Right,
she did Salem. She used to date this guy for like 10 years and he did marbles.
Marble
so
Reds.
They all had
Reds.
they all had their brands.
Those were the killers.
Yeah, crazy. They all had their brands, man. But so there was no stable male figure in my life. The only one that was in my life was my uncle. He was there, but he wasn't there. He wasn't participating. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The crazy thing is, when I was 11, right? I remember being outside. My uncle's mowing the lawn. Back then, you had like a push.
Yeah.
You had a push joint, right?
Yeah.
It had a little motor, but it was more so push. So I actually had 3 of my toes cut because I put my foot in the lawnmower. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So my uncle was pushing the lawnmower. So what I'm trying to say is he ain't pushed me out the way. Like, Brendan, you're too close to get out of here.
He just ran over you.
Just ran over my foot. And he didn't do it maliciously.
Yeah.
I'm just a curious kid, right? But, like, that was, you know what I'm saying? That was just another situation. And, I didn't lose no toes in that. I had to get stitches.
Yeah.
But that's what it was. So basketball coaches, because I played a lot of basketball, so I really put myself into basketball. I had multiple coaches, but they all either moved, started coaching new teams or something. So there was no real stability, bro.
Yeah.
So, I had to really learn. So I was doing a lot of stuff. I didn't do so seeing my
Did
mom.
you get into drugs at all? No drugs?
No. So seeing my mom doing drugs and going to these crack houses, it just was like, nah, this ain't the environment. So it was a blessing for me to see that.
That's
because
right.
I didn't, that taught me to stay away. I saw the result. Drugs, alcohol, mom dead. Alcohol, dad died, right? So I'm like, not drinking, not smoking. So all through, high school, college, and even post, I didn't even, not until I was 33. And I just tried it because I was like, you know what? I'm 30. Let me just see what it's about.
Yeah.
So I tried it. I'm like, nah, this is terrible. Like, I ain't even with it. You know what I'm saying? So those experiences taught me what not to do.
That's incredible.
You know what I'm saying? However, I had, relationships with women, or I didn't want to be in a relationship, and I would just not treat people the best way. I wasn't treat people maliciously again,
Right.
but it's just like I was dealing with what was going on with me.
Yep.
Right. So I couldn't communicate and articulate my feelings on the highest level and be empathetic because I was holding on to everything that I've been through. You know what I mean? So
Yep.
I had to work through that. You know what I mean? So it was really just me deciding that I need to be better. I want to be better. I want to grow in development. So I had a relationship with God, obviously, but I didn't fully lean in. I was kind of playing around with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
God, I need you today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I need you this week. Like, and he would be there for me and everything like that. But, it's almost like I was operating on a blind faith. So like I knew I was destined for something more and I wanted something greater, but I just had to like teach myself and learn based off of what was available to me. So going from someone that didn't like to read, didn't like to study, I became someone that loves to read, loves to study, loves to process information, and wants to become the best version of me every single day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And that just happened over time.
And it's just it's an incredible story already here. So college, you still lived in that house. Now, what about your dad's side? You said had 4 or 5 kids.
Yeah. So my dad's side 4 or 5 kids.
Did you interact with them at all?
Nah, because what happened. So I gotta tell you a crazy story with my granddad.
Yeah.
Which is another topic we'll touch on in a second. But they never really connected the family. So I would go to my dad's side, but it would be like voluntarily, or like my grandmother on that side, who was amazing. She would like ask for me to come by, you know what I'm saying? But our families never really blended. It would be like one-offs.
Right.
Or I want to go, to see my cousins or whatever over there. And we weren't even far. It's like, if you guys know Boston, it's like Dorchester, like Mattapan. It's like hella, you could walk, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So they never really like connected us. They weren't like blended family events, So
Right.
when I went over there, I felt welcomed, but I also felt like an outsider at the same time. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't like treating me a certain way, but I also didn't feel like I belonged here in a sense.
Like your actual family.
Yeah. So like I actually saw one of my sisters when I went back to Boston a couple of weeks ago, but I never felt really connected to that side of the family. But I also knew if I wanted to call my sister or not my youngest brother, but the brother that's a little closer to my age, and he got shot when I was in my late 20s. But him and my sister, they would always be there. Like we would hang out, you know what I'm saying? Like when we would do stuff. My older sister, I could always call her and stuff. I actually spoke to her the other day. But I always operated. You know what? I took pride of being like an only child.
Right.
For a while, like I like really like wore that like a badge of honor.
Yeah.
Like I'm an only. I just operated like that. So it probably was good and bad. You know what I'm saying? It protected me in a sense. Like it allowed me to do some things that I was able to do. But at the same time, it also isolated me from like really connecting with other family members. And like, obviously my family that was, the closest to me weren't available, but that doesn't mean that's your own family. But psychologically, it's like I only gravitated toward these people and I didn't really connect with the other side of the family like that at that time.
And then what about, you said granddad? You had something about granddad?
Yeah, so granddad, crazy, bro. So
now give me who's
So so I have my granddad's last name, right?
Yeah.
His name is Horace Boyd.
Yep.
So
And this is your mom's dad?
no, this is exactly, it's my mom's dad.
Got it.
So him and my grandmother, I don't know what they had going on. They was married, right? You know what I'm saying? But I don't know how that relationship went. So he had to be bitter or something. So when they divorced, you got to think about this. And I used to think about this too. I'm like, okay, they divorced. So you have a daughter who has a substance abuse problem.
Right.
A parent, like bad. You know what I'm saying? She had a son who's your grandson so you know that your daughter has a substance abuse problem that she can't control. There's your grandson who that's his mom. You ain't present, right? So he ends up moving to Denver, has a whole new family, doesn't make any connections, and doesn't check on his daughter, and doesn't check on me. So whatever resentment or however that relationship was with my grandmother and him, he just spilled over to his relationship with his daughter and his relationship with me. So his mom was my other great grandmother that I mentioned.
Yeah.
So she stayed in Boston, I guess for me, you know what I mean? So she lived in Roxbury, not that far from Mattapan as well.
Right.
So like, you know, she would always come see me. Sometimes like they had a boat, they would always come on a boat. I just never went on the boat. But I always go to her house and Easters and, you know, everything like that. So eventually I get older. She gets a little, you know, I'm older, so she's a little bit older. So now I'm like taking care of her, taking her to appointments and all this stuff.
Just the great grandma.
Yeah, just visiting her, seeing her and stuff like that. He's in Denver. Never comes home to check on his mom. My mom's passed now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so when his mom passes away.
Did he come back for the funeral for his daughter?
Well, no.
No.
Didn't come back.
Oof.
So when his mom passes away, right? Now, mind you, I'm older. I'm in my 20s. I'm taking care of his mom, you know, like spending time. But then when she needs to go to appointments and stuff and go food shopping, like, you know, she's not driving at the time. I'm driving. You know what I mean? So she passes. He comes back. She leaves me a couple dollars. It ain't crazy. I think it was probably like $6,000. So she leaves me what she has. He comes and takes it.
You're kidding me.
Bro, I've been taking care of his mom for over 2 decades, right? He just takes the money. No conversation, you know, because he's, you know, he's her son, so, you know, whatever. He just takes it. So he shows up at the house. I'm at her house, kind of going through her things, you know, cleaning up, whatever. We just get in a big argument. And at this point, like, I'm enraged. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not empathetic. I'm not fully in control of my emotions.
Yeah.
So my emotions is driving me. I got vengeance for him because he ain't been there through my whole life. His mom, I mean, his daughter died, who's my mom. He ain't show up for the funeral. I'm like, how in your mind know that your daughter got a substance abuse problem? Your ghost, your grandson dealing with that. You don't got a relationship with him. And you just show up and you just gonna take some money? So like, that's all in my mind. I see him and I'm ready to fight him and everything like that. So I forget who like stopped the scuffle, but we ended up not fighting. We was about to fight for real, like in the hallway of her home. So we ended up not fighting. He goes back. He has, you know, he's married. He has like 3 other kids in Denver. He never connects to family. So now I got family in Denver. I don't even know. You know what I mean? I never seen them before. Right. So fast forward, our relationship's now more damaged. We don't talk after that. I found out he passed away on the internet.
Oh,
like
really?
2015 on the internet. And I only find that out because I have an older cousin in Atlanta, and we kind of been going through like the family tree thing like through the years. And he's like, "Yo, did you know that Horace, your granddad, passed away?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He sends me the link, 2015, bro. Sends me the link. So I found out he passed away on the internet.
Nobody told you.
No one. How could they? They probably don't even know I exist. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like he never made that bridge. That's why I go back to whatever relationship that he had, or however that ended up with my grandmom. That resentment, the resentment and bitterness that he was holding on to, he never dealt with that.
Yeah.
And as a result, other family members are affected. You know, like his mom, his daughter, his grandson, the family on his side, and now he's gone, but there's no bridge. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't got a problem. Like I would reach out to them. I just got to do the work because I don't even know who they are, where they are. You know, so I got to figure that out. But like, I was dealing with that too, growing up. You know what I mean? Wow. So that's why like everyone is walking around with something. And that's why going back to the Mario, you know, like comparison earlier.
Yep.
That's why sometimes just hitting that box and allowing somebody to open up to have a conversation, that allows you to help that person heal a little bit.
Right.
You know, maybe that's the one nice thing that happened to them all day. You just asking them what their name is and saying hello. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And these little things, we have those opportunities to do it every single day.
Every day. Right?
And it could just be in passing.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Day. Like I already feel like you and I got an amazing relationship.
Yeah.
Right? And there's other things that's happening, but allowing, like using this medium, the podcast, allows people to make these connections. And that's why it's so very, very, very important. You know what I mean?
This incredible, what a journey. Like from where you came from to what you do now, like what your whole mission in life is, your assignment, as you said.
Yeah.
Okay. So college, when you graduated college, when did you, I don't want to get fast forward too far, but when you graduated college, what was your first thing you wanted to do then? What did you?
So when I'm in college, I'm playing basketball heavy. I didn't make the college team, but like they had an intramural situation.
Yep.
But I like dominated the intramural, so the whole basketball team knew me. You know what I mean? So we would hang out, but I just wasn't on a team. So what I wanted to do at that time was, Reebok was like the next town up, the corporate office.
Yeah.
So I wanted to work for Reebok in the basketball division. It just made sense to me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking up what's available. They have a a director of marketing available, right?
Yep.
So I mean, in retrospect, I wasn't qualified for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm still in college applying. They need somebody that got tenure, got some years, knows what's going on. So I apply. I don't get it. Now I'm not upset. I'm disappointed. Like I'm mad at them. Like it's something that they did, right? Because I'm looking at it from my perspective. Like, yo, So what I did was, that was like my first, step towards entrepreneurship.
Right.
Right. So what I did was, I created these basketball leagues in Boston. So Boston never had any leagues for our men after the age of 18. They have this, it's called BNBL. So BNBL goes up to like 18 and under. I think maybe now it might be 19 under. But after that, and it's a free basketball league all summer that Boston puts on for the whole community. But after that, there was no men's league. So you could age out of that and you would just be on the streets, you know what I'm saying? Or just doing things that are up to no good. So there was a league in New York that's still going on, Rucker Park. And I got inspiration from Rucker to create my version of Rucker in Boston, which is basically like DJ outside, the outside hoops, you know what I mean? Just the vibes, the energy, all of that. So I created that in the city, and I ran that from like 2000 to 2006.
Wow. So
I don't know how I got the idea to put it together on the business side, but it's like I just got a download. Like I woke up, I was like, okay, I know how to make money for this. I know how to generate money with this. So I remember being in Little League. In a Little League, it happens all across America. There's these names on the back of the shirts.
Right.
Like Joey's Cleaners and Sal's Pizza. You know what I'm saying? And it just dawned on me, I'm like, well, okay, these are businesses. Like, what are these names doing on these shirts? They're sponsoring the teams, or they're sponsoring the league, or they got their business on a banner. So I used that model, and I just did it for basketball in Boston. So I would go to these businesses. I put a sponsorship proposal together. There was no Chat GPT back then.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't even think the internet was out yet or something.
It wasn't.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I basically like did the library thing, figured out like what a sponsorship proposal was supposed to look like.
Right.
And I just kind of created what I thought was worth $500, $1,000, whatever. And then I would go to these businesses, all throughout the city, and I would find businesses to sponsor each team. So we had, 12 teams in the league. So that means at the minimum 12 sponsors for each team. Then I would get another 12 sponsors just for the actual league. So they would do banners, or sometimes I'll put their name on a trophy. So like the NBA, they got the Kia MVP award. So I would do the same thing. So businesses could sponsor the teams. They could just have banners on the fence. They could sponsor the events like the All-Star game or the championship. They could sponsor the trophies. I had balls. They could sponsor the balls. So I just created all these different things that they could actually put their business behind.
Right, yeah.
Gave them all, monetary value. And then that's how the league generated revenue on the product side. Then I would charge the players either per player or per team. And then that's how the league made money.
Yeah.
So it made money through people signing up and playing, but also made money through the sponsorships and stuff. So I was a player, coach, and I was a commissioner of the league. So I did that for 7 years?
Yeah.
7 years, and then we had a one-off 2010.
Wow.
But I quickly transitioned from that when my brother that passed, he introduced me to, one of my business partners, and we created a clothing company. So I was in fashion for
and this is still in Massachusetts.
Decade. Yeah. So it was in Massachusetts, but it ended up being like a worldwide brand. We did all these different collabs and stuff like that.
And and your brother introduced you to somebody?
My brother introduced me to my business partner. And I always wanted to do something different. I didn't know what that was. I knew I didn't want to work for anyone.
Yeah.
He introduced me to this person. And then he already has a clothing company. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is cool. So he just, we vibe out, whatever. He comes to the league. He sees what I got going on. So he just asked me one day. He was like, "Yo, you wanna do this clothing company with me?" And I'm just like, "All right, yeah, let's do it." So I actually stopped doing the league 2006.
Yep.
And I get into fashion. I don't know nothing about nothing in fashion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we just started selling T-shirts out the trunk of my car, driving to different hoods in Boston. That's how that started, right?
And
So we're learning on the fly.
What was the brand? What were the T-shirts?
So the brand was called Society Original Products.
Yeah.
Originally, it was his name, but we realized that, like, no one knew who he was.
Right.
Right? So that probably wasn't great to start our brand just based on him because no one knew who he was. So we rebranded it Society Original Products, and it was a streetwear brand. So, early 2000, mid 2000, even like 2010s, streetwear is it. You know what I'm saying? So all these brands are coming out of nowhere. So we sold tees, hats. We actually got our manufacturing in China, so we did cut and sew. You know what I mean? So we had like a whole line of clothing. We sold online. We sold brick and mortar. We sold in 8 different countries.
Wow.
We did collabs with Mountain Dew. I did a collab with Colette, which was a renowned boutique in Paris. They closed their doors 2018, so we was able to do something with them. We did a collab with Newberry Comics, which is like a franchise clothing company in music back in like New England.
Right.
So we did a bunch of amazing collabs. And a lot of the artists that people, some of the legends we worked with early, like Big Sean, he did our first photo shoot. Kendrick, like before Kendrick was King Kendrick.
Yep.
J. Cole without dreads, he had a fade.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
Come on.
Wiz Khalifa with less tattoos. Like all these people, Chris Brown, Justin Bieber, all these people wore our brand. You know what I mean? Chance the Rapper, different athletes. Do you remember Aaron Hernandez?
Yeah, of course.
Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
So, that's another story. But he's photographed wearing a society hat, after he commits his thing.
Yeah.
But in the newspaper, he's wearing our brand. Like, that's the picture that he got.
No
like,
way.
The headline story he's wearing, So it was very impactful. One of the like craziest things that we did, we even did a collab with DK Bikes. So we did a BMX bike collab.
Yeah.
Bro, we didn't know what we had. You know what I'm saying? One of the craziest things was, do you know what joggers are? Like jogger pants?
That's right.
So we created that.
I do.
We created that.
You created joggers.
We created joggers. We didn't know what mechanical patents were. There was no joggers back then. So we never got a patent because we didn't know.
Yeah.
So how it happened was, our offices was in a big online retailer, right, called Karma Loop, and some people may remember Karma Loop. So one of the owners was an investor in our brand, so he gave us office space as part of our deal. So one of the head buyers at Karma Loop, Don Ball, he's a friend of mine, he was just looking at the trends, and he saw that. He was like, well, right now, at the time, like, sneakers with colors were like the thing. Like, there was all these brands, but they was like colors. Even Nike had all these different color palettes. And sweatpants, they weren't, they were just like straight, right? And they would just be over your shoe. So he was like, yo, we kind of need something that like would allow the shoes to pop. You know what I mean? And we just did a brainstorm session one evening in our office. He's like, well, I'm going to bring y'all some sweatpants. And my business partner, we was like, well, how can we make these pop? We were wearing hoodies, and then we looked at our wrists. We was like, yo, what if we put these cuffs on the bottom thing, right? So we just literally just like stapled them. You know what I mean? At the time, just in the office, like a sample. Yeah. We stapled it. It was like, oh, these are kind of different. Like, you could actually like see the shoe, like the shoe pops, right? Right. So we take the design, we design it up. Take the design over to our manufacturer. He produces the first jogger sweat. They get sold on Karma Loop. So now we're just selling sweatpants that are very forward at the time. Right. $1 billion design, because every brand.
And at first it must have been like, wait, what is this? You can't do this.
Yeah,
it looks
100%.
ridiculous. But then all of a sudden
it takes off. Every brand, big brands to Target, Walmart, they all got joggers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it changed the whole dynamic of clothing. And we did that in Boston. You know what I'm saying? But again, that goes.
Where did the name joggers come from?
I think so. At some point, there was this brand. I forget the name of the brand. It's a brand out of California. Yeah. They still exist actually. But at some point, it might have been that brand I'm thinking about. they like started marketing it. So it kind of, they gave it a brand name. You know what I'm saying?
right.
They gave the
Yeah.
style a name, and then it just kind of became like a jogger sweat.
Yep.
You know, it could have been them with the name. I know they actually rolled it out. They actually did marketing and rolled. They did a rollout. They did a campaign. So that contributed to that brand being synonymous with joggers. But then also like they probably also contributed to like the style.
Yep.
The style.
Yeah.
You know, of
Wow.
the name. But that's what happens when you don't have mentorship. You don't have coaching. You know what I'm saying? You don't understand what you're in.
Right.
And you may have an ego, and that ego prevents you from bringing in somebody to manage the business. So I remember my business partner and myself, like it was a semi-heated argument, nothing crazy, but I'm like, bro, we need someone to come in. Like, you do all the design, you know, all the visual direction, all the aesthetic. I'm doing marketing, sales, business development, networking. Like, I'm putting on all the events, all these people that are wearing the brand.
Yep.
I'm doing all of that, right? We need somebody that can we need an offensive coordinator. Like, we need a head coach.
Yeah.
We need somebody that says, okay, this is what you got going on. This is what you got going on. This is what's going on in the business. These are the pockets we need to penetrate. Oh, do y'all got business credit? Oh, you know, is your business structured properly?
Right.
Do y'all is your tax situation together? Are y'all paying
Sales tax,
your
everything.
salary and everything? Like,
Yeah,
we didn't
yeah.
have none of that. So we just
You're straight hustling.
we willy-nilly in it. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? What's great about that is we built a 7-figure business. What's bad about that, as soon as we built the 7-figure business, it implodes because there's no structure.
There's nothing there.
There's no SOPs.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's nothing. And if you're in fashion, it's kind of the same with everything, but in fashion more so. If you're not on time, they want discounts. 30, 50% discounts.
Yeah.
They still want the product, but they want a discount. You
Yep.
know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So we ran into that a lot because it was only a handful of times when like we delivered a season on time.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because in fashion, like if you're doing overseas manufacturing, like you got to hit the windows.
Yes.
You know, sales has to be done and over at a certain time. You know, then it has to be production, order, and then shipping.
Yep.
So you have to do all of that in advance. During that time, things started to move faster. That's when you get print on demand.
Right.
You know, that's when you get like companies like, you know, what Printful will do. You do capsule releases, pre-selling, all the things that are like normal now.
Yeah.
Those were like cutting edge.
Correct.
Back then,
Yeah.
you could pre-sell? You could pre-sell a whole collection?
Yeah.
You just sell off this mock-up, like no samples? Like that was like no samples.
Yeah. Back
Just-
then that didn't.
Just the picture?
And print on demand. No.
Yeah, no. You would have to
No.
print out everything, have your little samples, have your line sheet, drive, fly, door knock, set up a sales appointment, pull up in the showroom, show her everything, bring your luggage, convince somebody to buy, or you know, you got the relationship. That's how you would sell.
Exactly.
Nowadays, you're like, yo, listen, JD, I'm gonna send you this text message, bro. Take a look at the line sheet. Let me know which styles you want, how many quantities. You can pre-sell it. Send me the money. I'll send you this in like a couple months.
Yeah.
And that's regular.
That's regular.
You know, that's how it's done right now.
Wow.
Yeah. But back then it was like, man, we can make money like this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like you know, that was all that stuff was just starting to come out. You know what I mean?
Crazy, dude. Because I'm wondering, like, man, this sounds like it's gonna blow up, but like this is a perfect example, though, bro. When you're taking risks and chances in entrepreneurship, anything can happen at any given time.
100%.
And especially if you don't have the knowledge,
No, you need the knowledge.
and you drop the ego and the pride and bring people in that know more than you.
100%.
Right?
Yep. 100%.
Perfect example.
Super. That's the ideal example. Even how my business partner and I ended up like, you know, let's call it a divorce.
Right.
It's because of ego. It's because of not being able to swallow pride. Right. It's because of not being able to have those conversations. Right.
Yeah.
And you have a voice in your head and there's arrogance and it's like, you know, well, forget it. Like I remember when I first got my real estate license, I didn't even tell him. Like I was supposed to be at the office. I'm studying real estate. I'm in real estate school. I'm like, all right, cool. This ain't going right. I'm gonna just set myself up. So when we done, I could just transition. Like I was doing that. Was that bad of me doing it? No, I could do whatever I want. Was it bad of me to not communicate what I was doing? Yeah, because that means I was thinking about me.
Yep.
Right. I was thinking about my transition out of this. Like him and I ain't straight. We obviously we're moving out of this, but I'm not trying to move out of this and like not have no money. Like I
Yeah.
still need a bag. So
Right,
let
yeah.
me do this. Right. But having that conversation, we would have been on the same page, and then the transition would have been different, right? But you're unable to do that if you don't have the intellect, if you don't have the mentorship, the coaching, right? If you don't have the emotional intelligence, right? If you're not reading, if you're not pouring into yourself, if you are not, removing yourself from the idea of ego and pride that don't really exist. They're just in your mind. You know what I'm saying? That ain't none of that's real, bro. It's just how you feel. You know what I mean? You just might need a hug, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that prevented us from working through our issues, keeping the brand together and still moving forward, because we obviously had something. It was very impactful.
Right.
You know what I mean? We're talking about superstars that we know now wore the brand. Kanye knew about the brand. We did a collab t-shirt that had Kanye on it, Pharrell on it, and then Lupe Fiasco. I had the opportunity to give that shirt with their faces on it. I gave one to Lupe because I met Lupe at one of his first shows in New York, and I met Pharrell back in the day. And this was, if you remember, so some of y'all may not remember, Pharrell used to have tattoo sleeves, right?
I don't remember that.
So he had tattoo sleeves.
Yeah.
So I think he did, maybe it was like a stem cell situation, but he got his tattoos removed.
Really?
Yeah, removed. So when I met him, he had just had that surgery. So I think I still have a picture. I would have to look, but he has like up to his elbows just wrapped up.
Yeah.
In the bandages because he had just had the surgery to remove his tattoos. And I gave him a shirt. He had just did, I think it was on NERD at maybe like Hartford, because my boy went to the University of Hartford. He was on the basketball team. So he was like, yo, Brendan, NERD's performing, pull up to, so I drove out there, and he was on a tour bus. I don't know how, I always have a great way of just meeting people, like connecting with people. So I had the ability just to meet him and give him that shirt. So it was like these moments, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, like our brand was very impactful, culturally impactful, in fashion. Just out of Boston.
And how did you wind it down?
Two black dudes out of Boston.
just straight hustling.
Yeah, for real.
How did you wind down out of it? You just close it?
There was no wind down, bro. He was mad at me. I was mad at him. That was it. We was at a stalemate, and probably 2014.
Yeah.
It was like, all right, bro, this is the last collection. Like
that was it.
That was it. You know what I'm saying? So for a while we didn't talk. You know what I mean? And he was still doing it, but his thing is he's kind of like an introvert, and I'm like an omnivert, so I can be both. But I really was operating in like my, being an extrovert. Yeah. So I'm really operating in my like being out there, being a face, connecting with people. So the reason why we were in all these different places is because I created those opportunities.
Right.
He's a genius at what he does, but he doesn't do that. Like he's not like, at the time he wasn't a people person.
Yep. Yeah.
So he could have still been great with that, but he didn't have anyone to replace me. Like he didn't make any new relationships with someone that he can come in to help do that. And I think he was probably like, he probably has some trauma from our relationship. Like I don't want another business partner. I don't blame him. Not that I was bad, but like it didn't end up well because the result of it was we ended up breaking up. Like, right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he probably felt more so protected and wasn't ready to let anyone help him. Yep. So he just started doing a thing on his own, and that didn't result in brand growth.
And that was after you guys parted ways?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So he was still moving on. I just wasn't operating in it. Like, I resented the name, bro. Like, the brand name, I resented it for a while. Yeah. Because I was still doing my own stuff, but, like, I threw all my stuff away. Like, all the brand stuff, threw it in the bag, like, or I gave it away. Like, I think I kept, like, 1 or 2 pieces just because it was a part of my legacy. Yeah. But, like, that was it. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
No clothing for, I don't know, like, maybe 10 years after that. And then him and I meet again in Boston. And we didn't officially dissolve the brand. So we met about dissolving the brand. And I'm like, bro, like, I'm getting these text messages. I'm getting these emails. I'm getting these DMs. Because Instagram, we got the internet, social media at this point. Yeah. And people are asking for the brand. I'm like, I go to him. I'm like, bro, I think we can still do something. Like, this is what I say to him. This is right before I moved to LA. I think that we could do still do something. Why don't we do like a capsule collection? For those that know what a capsule collection is, I think Nike pioneered that. But basically what it is it's like a small collection that's limited and you just put it out. You know what I mean? And it's like it's his own campaign. So I'm like, I think we can do a capsule collection. Let's just do some T-shirts, some hoodies, put it out. You know what I mean? He's like, yo, that's a great idea. I'm like, yo, we still got this long email list. Text message marketing was just, is just emerging.
Right.
I'm like, yo, we can get some sales. I'm like, yo, we could easily probably do like 70, 100,000 pre-sales. He's like, you know what, that's great. And we literally was meeting to liquidate. I mean, to dissolve.
Dissolve, yeah.
Yeah. And then he's like, yo, let me think about it, bro. I'm like, all right, cool. So I'll see you tomorrow. He's like, all right, I'll see you tomorrow. So 25 hours later, we meet. He's like, yo, you know what I was thinking? I'm like, all right. He's like, I want to do your idea. I think it's a dope idea, but I want to do it alone. I want to do it by myself. So I'm like, yo, let me get this straight. So you want to take my idea, you agree with it, but you don't want me to be a part of it, and you want to do it on your own. So now my brain's like, all right, so basically, he wants to dissolve my percentage of ownership in the brand, and then he wants to do his thing. So then I'm now doing a math in my mind. I'm like, how will I feel if this takes off, like on a level much bigger than when we were operating? Because he's taking my idea, and I already know that there's still some energy here, right?
Yeah.
So I'll go back and I talk to like maybe 2 or 3 people that know us well, but they know me, whatever. I'm like, man, I just need your opinion. Like, so I'm working through it with them in my mind.
What did you say to him at that moment?
I'm like, yo, so what do you think? I just want your opinion. Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
Do you think that I should push back on this, or should I just let it go? Like, you know what I'm saying? At the time, I'm doing real estate. So 24 hours later, I'm like, bro, you know what? Just have it. Just have it, bro. You don't even gotta pay me nothing. Just have it. I was like happily like, I'm like, just have it. I didn't feel no ways after that. So fast forward, clearly ain't nothing popping. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it wasn't a bad decision, but at the time I was like, all right, how would I feel if it did happen? I actually was going to feel happy and joy is for him, because that if that was to happen, that was just what was supposed to happen.
Right.
With or without me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So there was no envy, there was no jealousy, there was no bitterness. It was more of a happiness, which was like me unlocking the next level of my growth, that I could be that way in that moment in this environment and feel happy for him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
Off of something that we built. You know what I'm saying? And arguably, my influence in it allowed it to grow to where it was, and it to be known for what it was. And then he's going to take all of that. So I actually felt good about it. So I just signed it over to him.
And so the people like you that you went to for advice, did they advise you to go that route?
Nah, they just kind of gave me like well, this is what I think. Just kind of like breaking it down. Like if I was coming to you for advice, you might not tell me what to do. Yeah. But you might be like, all right, Brendan, here are the variables.
Right. Yeah.
If you go this way, this may be what may happen. If you go this way, this may be what may happen. But at the end of the day, I had to like figure out how I would feel about it.
Yep.
It's just like math, right? The numbers are the numbers. It don't matter, right? But how you feel about the numbers or how you arrive at the numbers is what matters. That might cloud your vision of what you actually see on the number. Like your road to $1 million, how do you feel on that? Like, what are you doing to get there or whatever? Or like, what did you have to do to arrive there? Or how do you feel about, like, somebody could be like, hey, listen, man, if you set up JD, I'll give you $1 million. Right? You just gotta do it this day, this time you gotta do it. So I might know, all right, cool. All I gotta do is lock JD in his room. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. He ain't gonna know. Boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna get my reward. How am I gonna feel about that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I decided that I would be fine if he would be successful under the circumstances that he didn't want me involved in my idea to monetize the brand equity that we still had. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool, bro. Yeah, no, do your thing. But I got more from that because it unlocked a level of my personal development.
Yeah, exactly.
In real time.
Yeah.
And I was aware of that.
Wow.
So that's how that kind of unfolded.
That's crazy, man. Yeah. All right. So, this is like huge, like personal development here as far as being able to release that like that.
Yeah. It was necessary.
Because then it's like, Yeah, I could dig into this for like a whole show. Just this mentality of how you could possibly do that, because I can only imagine the resentment that could be there. You know what I mean? Like, because if he blows up,
Yeah.
like, and also dig into like where he came, where did he come off, like even presenting that, like, hey, I'm gonna do this.
I'm gonna do your idea, bro, but I don't want you involved in it. As a matter of fact, why don't you sign this over to me right now?
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna run with this.
But that's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, man, God always has a plan. You have to have faith in that.
Yeah, 100%.
So you had faith.
Yeah. I didn't have faith what the next move was gonna be,
Right,
but I
right.
just knew I would feel good regardless of what that move was.
Exactly.
And that was really the gift that I got from the moment. So that was what that moment was about.
And now talk to me from there, trajectory, because I'm sure it led to
Yeah.
where you are today.
So then, I mean, at that point, it's just like, I asked God to allow me to continue to live at the level that I was living. So that's when I had gotten into real estate. You know what I'm saying? So I was a residential realtor, so helping buyers buy and sell.
And you got that back east first?
Yeah. So I got licensed in Massachusetts first, operated there about 8 years, moved to LA, and now I got my license there.
So when did you move to LA?
2019.
2019. June.
Yeah.
Okay. 2019. What brought you to LA? What made you?
I needed to grow, man. So LA was always a place that we would visit, because we would go to Magic, which was like the biggest clothing convention in Vegas every February and August. So we would go there, and we have friends that moved from Boston to California that were in the entertainment industry.
Right.
So then after we would do Magic for like a week or whatever case may be, we would go spend a week in LA. And I just enjoyed it, like the weather, like, just driving down the 101, Santa Monica, like all of that I really, really enjoyed. So I knew I had to move. So it just came to a point where everybody knew me in Boston. Like there would be like a new restaurant on the same block. Everybody's going to the same place. Like I couldn't drive by accident and go somewhere that I didn't know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And the last straw was, I remember my one of my best friends from college. She had a daughter. That's my goddaughter. We took her apple picking, like 2 hours out of the city, right? And if you've been to an apple orchard, there's like hundreds of aisles, right?
Yeah.
So we go down. So we 2 hours out the city, go down to this apple orchard. We pick a random aisle. She got a bag of apples. I happen to pick apples, whatever. Somebody's like, "Yo, Brendan, what's up?" I'm like, bro. And I'm just thinking in my mind. I'm like, I'm 2 hours out the city. I'm in a random aisle. There's hundreds of these apple orchard aisles, right? There's hundreds of them.
Yeah.
Somebody still know who I am. So that was like, oh, I definitely got to move, bro.
Yeah.
Like it just didn't make no sense.
Right.
So that was like the last straw. I saved some money up from real estate. I bought like 20,000, something like that at the time, and I just used that revenue to move. And then I just moved to California. And I knew that moving to California, I just needed something totally different from Boston. So bigger city, warmer. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
I didn't know. I mean, I knew some people, but I really didn't know nobody. I could get lost. So I just needed all of that so my senses would be stimulated again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like my creativity would happen, and that was just the environment that allowed me like to develop at a higher level,
So what you're saying is the old environment was too stale.
Yeah. I knew everything.
And you just every the same people.
Yeah. Crazy routine, bro. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but I just knew like if I would stay there,
you.
I'm getting married, I'm having a kid, and I'm counting the years.
Same town.
Counting the years, bro. You know what I'm saying? So that's not what I wanted, and I knew I needed to grow. And the best way that you can grow at a faster rate is just putting yourself in a new environment.
Yep.
It's going to force you to do things and meet people and discover different things about yourself. And then obviously you can take advantage of what's available to you. You know what I mean? So that's why I had moved to Los Angeles.
All right. So get into LA and then how you stemmed into where you're at now. And
yeah. So LA, what happened was I really love real estate. And honestly, I thought I wanted to. So you remember like $1 Million Listing? Mm-hmm. So this is where like the media starts coming in. So $1 Million Listing, I'm like, man, I think that I could do that. Like LA, media, help people buy homes, sell homes. I really like Josh Flagg. You know what I'm saying?
Flagg.
These guys. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, yo, this is really dope. I'm watching.
Was he your favorite one, Josh Flagg?
Yeah. I liked him.
He was smooth. He was smooth.
And the Altmans, right?
Altmans.
So now I'm selling real estate, and I'm doing my version of that. So even on YouTube, I have my own episodes.
Yeah.
Right. So I started creating my own episodes of like my $1 Million Listing on my YouTube. So I would go. So what happens is like all these realtors that have listings, they didn't know nothing about marketing and they weren't creating content at the time.
Right.
So I'll just call them up and say, hey, oh, your listing's available? Okay, you mind if I come shoot it? Because that's free content, free marketing for them and the seller.
Yeah.
So if I make a video of the house sales, that's a commission, but now I have something I can market for my YouTube. So I was doing a bunch of those. So after a while, I'm like, this money's coming too slow, bro. Yeah. I'm going to just be honest. Like 10K here, 20K here, cool, 30K, cool.
It took a while.
Yeah, it's coming too slow. I got to work too hard for it. So I'm really into working out. I stopped playing basketball. Probably like 2014, 2015, because like I don't want to bust an Achilles or mess my knee up, strain my ankle bad. So I decided just to retire from that. So now I'm just fitness. I started like, I healed myself from the trauma of fashion. I started like a little merch brand called Pursuit, PRST. And then I end up going to like a print shop in Orange County. So I'm in a print shop in Orange County, and the owner of the print shop's there. We talking. At the time, I had just came from, I think, like showing a house. So I got my real estate polo on. It's all branded. You know what I'm saying? I got because I have my own brand. And I got my backpack on, have my laptop in it. We just started talking. So he's doing my shirts or whatever, putting the order in. He's like, yeah, you know what? I was actually looking for a house. I'm like, okay. He was like, I was looking for it in the Salton Sea area. I'm like, okay. So boom, I sit down, put my laptop up, pull up the MLS looking. There's like 3 homes in Salton Sea on the market at the time. So I'm like, flip over the laptop. I'm like, these are the homes, man. This is probably the best one. I'm not even thinking nothing of it. And this never happens. He's like, oh, that's the one. You never, as a realtor, will meet somebody randomly, show them one house, and they're like, yo, that's the one.
That's it.
Can we see it? So, mind you, it's in the Salton Sea. I live in Los Angeles. Right? I'm in the OC now. So Los Angeles to Salton Sea is like a little over 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You got to pass like Coachella and all of that, right? Right. So, and the homes there aren't really that expensive. I mean, I think that house was like a little over 300,000 or something.
Oh, wow.
It wasn't crazy. But I got a relationship with this guy now because it was a referral. So I want to give the best customer service that I can, right? So I'm like, all right, let's do it. So we go see the home. I'm driving 2 hours, show him the home. It's on like 2-3 acres, which is dope. He actually got a really great property. It had a lot of opportunity for development and stuff too. Yeah. So we put in an offer. Long story short, you know how long it takes us to close that deal? Like 6 months.
6 months?
Yeah, because the house wasn't worth what he wanted it to go for. I don't want my client to overpay for it. So I'm like, nah, we're not going to get it, right? So I'm telling him that. He's like, yeah, I agree. I don't want to overpay. They don't want to come down on the price. So it takes us 2 months to do that first song and dance. It falls apart because he don't want, like, it gets assessed for less. Appraised for less than he wants. Yeah. He don't want to bring the price down still. My buyer doesn't want to bridge the gap. So it's like the deal just implodes. But 2 months later, he's like, Brendan, can't stop thinking about the house, man. I want it for my mom. I want it for my daughters to go. My mom has. I want the house. So I'm like, all right. So 2 months of the deal not being consummated. 2 months of like I'm over it. Now 2 months of putting it back together. 6 months. The commission on our house was like $6,000, bro. Yeah. So that's like $1,000 a month, but all of the time I basically work for free, right? Right. So that was again the last straw. But I wasn't mad at him or mad at the thing. I was just looking at just overviewing it. Do I want to be like a 60, 70, 80-year-old realtor that's still hustling and bustling in the car, like showing properties? I was like, nah, there got to be something greater. So that's when I really started, again, going back into personal development. I started learning about digital products, digital marketing. I started learning about how you can monetize a personal brand. I started investing in myself deeper, investing in my mindset. And then like coaching program after coaching program, book after book, I start like just learning about this other world where you can monetize online. Right. Yeah. So I started doing that, and I stopped real estate. Like me and my real estate partner, really dope relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still cool now, but we used to have so much fun. But I just stopped doing that. You know what I mean? I'm like, yo, I'm going deep in on this.
And you were living in Orange County now?
No, Los Angeles.
L.A. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. What was the Orange County? That was where you met that guy?
That's just where I met him. His print shop was just there.
Got it. Okay.
You know what I mean? And I just needed to get
Got it.
I was getting merch done, I think, for like the fitness stuff or something.
Copy.
Yeah. So it just happened to be there.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So then keep going now. So to where you are now.
Yeah.
Like, because this is like, let's dive deep into this.
Yeah.
On
So
personal
my first program was a basically like a personal development program.
Yeah.
So what I realized at the time, and I actually did my first offer coming from my real estate office. I held my phone up, and I still got the video. I held my phone up, and I was like, hey, listen, if you're watching this right now and you want to be, 100% better, you want to grow, you want to develop, something along those lines, you want to guarantee to be in 30 days, just a better person, sign up here or click the link, whatever was at the time. So basically what I did was I packaged up my morning routine, and then I sold it to people as a program.
Yep.
And it was the first time I ever did that. And it was like $300.
Yep.
5 people signed up, $1,500.
Yep.
Right. In a week, I was like, this is something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but like
taste.
it's something, right? So basically, what I did was like, my morning routine at the time was
give it to me.
I did 20/20, which was 20 minutes of an audiobook, 20 minutes of a physical book. Went to the gym, go walking, meditate, you know what I mean? Journal. What else was in there? Oh, we had accountability calls, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it was basically that. And I'm like, yo, if you do this every day for 30 days, there's no way you're going to be the same person. So I basically just gave him like a double guarantee. All you got to do is show up and do the work. And we had an accountability tracker and all that stuff. And it was dope. So I did that for 5 months, same price point. So that made me believe that, okay, there's something here.
Right.
Yeah. And then I just started reinvesting back in myself. So I ended up developing a coaching program, and it got up to, I think it was like $7,500, right, for the coaching program.
Yep.
But my friends realized, well, like 2 or 3 people close to me, they realized, I'm podcasting. And they're like, yo, Brenda, I need you to, they kind of was like, yo, there's something here. Like, you should, I don't know what it is, but like with the podcast, the industry, you podcasting, your coaching, I think there's something here that you're just not seeing. So it took me I would say 3 weeks to figure it out. And then that's when I started to
And we're in recent years here, 2020,
this is
right?
probably 2 years ago.
Yeah.
With this is 2 years ago with me adding the podcast element to what I do. Because I was always podcasting.
Yes.
But I just wasn't, I didn't make it a business. I wasn't utilizing it. I actually utilized it to make amazing relationships and put me in rooms with people that made, 7 figures, 8 figures. And I use that as a way to just build powerful relationships and just being able to have a dynamic relationship, with people. So I didn't identify that there was a greater way for you to monetize it, you know what I mean, on the front end, on the back end, leverage it, affiliates. There's so many things that you could do with this medium, that you could put out. So then I just started, I was like, damn, I see something here, so I kind of pivoted, you know what I'm saying? So I pivoted from helping people with being more productive and their mindset to monetizing my own podcast and then teaching people how to monetize the podcast and then leveraging that vertical into the different verticals that I have right now. So if you have a podcast, if you're watching this or listening to this right now, if you got a podcast, there's so many different ways that you can monetize your show.
And now tell people real quick before we get to there, because everybody's or some people are looking at or listening to this or watching this thinking, all right, I got to have this setup that JD has.
Yeah.
You don't.
You don't need that setup.
How simple can it be?
First of all, you got an amazing setup, by the way.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
It's really not saying.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate the lines too, right?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's
So
right.
check it out. So listen. You can do a podcast on your phone.
Yep. Tell people how simple. Yeah.
So listen, if you were starting a podcast right now, if you have a laptop, that's all you need. You can get Riverside, which I like Riverside. It's a free software. You can use Riverside, right? You could use Buzzsprout. So Riverside is a platform that you could shoot, or you could use Zoom. People Zoom give you 45 minutes for free. Just make sure your podcast is 30 minutes. They ain't gonna cut you out. So you use a software to help you do the visual component. That software is going to record the audio and the video side. Then you want to get a host like Buzzsprout, Simplecast, Podbeam. That's going to allow you to distribute it to the audio platforms that we know as Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you know what I'm saying, iHeart, things like that, right? YouTube channel. So now you can take the visual and put it on YouTube. So now you got the visual distribution, you got the audio distribution, and then you can use a third party site like Upwork, or unless you want to edit it yourself. If you don't got no money, you could literally edit yourself. iMovie, you could use Premiere, there's all these different apps now that you could use. You can put out a whole show, pay no money, decide if you actually like it before you just buy equipment.
Right. Yeah.
And even still, you could level up that experience by just getting a USB mic, a USB camera. Then that's it. And you straight. You can literally operate a podcast just like that. You don't need heavy equipment.
No.
You don't need the latest camera. You don't need tripods. You don't need boom mics. You don't need dynamic mics. You don't need none of that. You don't need Bluetooth. You don't need none of that. You can literally run it like that. And
Easy.
then that show allows you to connect with people virtually. You could take that whole situation on the go. It's literally just your laptop. That's it. You know what I mean? Now, once you do that and you want to invest in your show, then you could do other things. But the majority of podcasters don't make it past episode 15. So it doesn't make sense for you to invest all this money.
Yeah, what's the percentages?
It's like 85%. They don't do it.
They don't go past 15.
You can look right now, and there's a lot of shows that just, there's no more episodes after like 2021.
And what's the main reason? Because they think it's just not going anywhere?
It's work.
It's work.
That's the reason. It's work. Like, think about what's going on. Like your production, right? So it's you. So you got a host. You're the host. I'm the guest, right? You got two people on production.
Yep. Two production team here.
Two production team. Then you need to take this and you need to be edited and you need to be chopped down. You need to book your next guest if you're going to have a guest.
Right.
And do the whole thing over. And you got to put it out and you got to promote it if you want it to go further.
Yeah.
And you're not getting paid. I'm not saying you, but like the idea is I'm not getting paid.
You're not, though. You're not.
Well, you can.
You can.
You're not getting paid. So you're like, bro, this ain't fun no more. And then if you got a business partner, now y'all are like, well, bro, who's bringing the money in? Or I'm cool. I'm about to go over here. Like, so that's why they quit. And they think that they can only make money through brand deals, sponsorships, or having a large audience. And they don't have a large audience because they just started.
Right.
No brand deal wants to mess with them because the audience is small, or the YouTube channel is brand new, or they don't know how to reach out to brands, right? They can't monetize on YouTube or Spotify because they don't got the downloads or the views.
Yep.
They don't know how you can get money. But because I understood digital marketing, I understand how you can monetize. Well, none of that. You can make money from episode 1 or 2. Off the rip.
And so when people come, they ask me all the time now, like, JD, I want to start. The first thing I just tell them without getting too deep, because I don't even know.
Yeah.
This is your thing. I just say, listen, start by just doing videos of yourself and stories, Instagram stories. Yep. Start talking and see if people like it.
Yeah.
If people start picking up on what you're doing, because that's why I started it, was because I would do stories all day on my Instagram. And I would do more. I wouldn't do my face. I would walk around and comment on stuff.
Gotcha. Yeah.
And people loved my commentary. They're like, dude, you're a riot.
You got a good voice.
You're a riot, dude. So, and I'm like, okay, how do I keep going with this? That's how mine started.
Yeah.
So my point is to everybody listening, watching, start there.
You just got to start.
Just start.
At the end of the day.
Just start talking. Yeah. What's on your mind?
Just start at the end of the day.
What are you feeling?
Yeah, 100%.
Tell your story. What are you feeling every day? Comment on stuff, and then see if you get people picking up. So keep going with that.
Yeah. So that's really all they need to do to start. Now, when you want to monetize your show, right? There's a bunch of simple ways you can monetize. Number one is affiliate marketing. So what is affiliate marketing? Affiliate marketing is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
Yep.
There's all these different brands that you might know, right? Top-tier brands or product, services, software. They already have the asset, right? So if you just help them sell things, well, not even sell things, but you just share. So you got to register, which doesn't cost you anything.
Right.
So you can register for, even Adidas has affiliate marketing, like Louis Vuitton. You could literally do an audit at your home right now. What are the products that you're using?
Right.
Go to their websites.
Yeah.
Is there affiliate offer? If it is, register. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm wearing these Ray-Bans today. Guess what? Ray-Bans have an affiliate product. So if anyone's watch this, there's a link in this episode right now. You go to it. If it's my link, I'm going to get $15, $20 or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Right. So you could sign up to multiple affiliates, number one, or you could find a couple of affiliates that have MRR, right? So that means monthly recurring revenue. That means if you sell an affiliate, well, I keep saying sell. I want to say, I don't want y'all to think of it like selling. If you're sharing, because I want to tell you, you share the link, you do a product review, let's just say. You don't have to do no fulfillment, right? They're not coming to you for the sale. There's no customer service. You're not delivering anything. You just getting a check in like 30 days. Or
you're just sharing.
You're just sharing, right? So that's number one. And guess what? If you bring a guest on the show, right, and you have a product, which is the next thing you could do, right? Every podcaster needs a product. All your products don't necessarily have to be physical. You can have a digital product. Right. So let's say JD, for example, you can have a sleep great or sleep better ebook. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
JD's sleep better Bible or something. Whatever's gonna be. That could be $27, $37, $47. You can record a commercial for your product, right, in your studio or on your phone. Doesn't have to be like a premium production. Put that commercial in every single episode. Mid-roll, end-roll, you could do a live read at the beginning. Put the links at the, inside of the episode and on the audio side, on the video side.
Yep.
Right? Now you got a product that is evergreen because now it's marketed without
Explain evergreen, because we keep saying that.
Okay, so evergreen.
I know what it means, but.
Yeah, so basically what evergreen means is it's always going to be good.
Got it.
Meaning like it can always be discovered. If you have something that is an evergreen product, so let's say podcast episodes, there could be a podcast episode from 1995. I can still listen to it now.
Right.
Right? It's forever.
Yep.
So if you have your own product and you put your affiliate marketing, whatever products you have inside of your episode, you put your own product inside your episode, and you're sleeping, you're on vacation, you're with the family, you're taking a walk, whatever you got going on, you're with a customer. I could be watching your podcast episode right now and be like, oh, man, I need that sleep Bible. Oh, the link's right there? Boom, $27 for JD.
Yep.
He's with a customer.
Yep.
And you're able to compound that with every single episode.
Yep.
So let's think about your podcast guests. There's a way you could do it reverse. What if you have your own affiliate product and every podcast guest, you have them sign up to be an affiliate? Or vice versa. Let's say you're the guest, you got the affiliate product. You make partnerships with podcast hosts. Most likely the host wants to be an affiliate because they're not making money anyway.
Right.
See, like, hey, listen, we can make some money together. I got this product, it's $1,000. I'll give you 30%. All you got to do is put the commercial that I already produced inside your episode.
Yep.
You don't got to do nothing. I have your audio commercial, I have the video commercial. Here's the links. You just have to register.
Love it.
Drop the commercial that I already made in your episode. Here's the audio for the audio side. Put the links below. You register. If somebody buys it because they're listening and watching the episode, you're going to get 30%. What's 30% of $1,000? $300.
Yep.
3 people buy from that one episode. That episode just made $900. You're not even doing nothing. As a guest, you got a product. You can literally become affiliate partners with multiple hosts. Guess what? They got multiple episodes.
Right.
One host can have 50 episodes.
Oh, yeah.
Another host can have another 50 episodes. That means your product or service might be in 100 episodes that are being watched and listened to thousands of times. You're doing something else in all these shows, and the host's not even promoting it because he's already did those episodes.
Right. They're already in there.
Right. And let's look at it like this. It's literally dead real estate. What I mean by dead, it means once the podcast episode's out, most likely they forgot about it already. That means you have all this opportunity inside of a 30-minute, 60-minute podcast that no one is using. Right?
Yep.
So let's talk about the brand deals. You might not have the cachet or the influence to get, let's say, AT&T or, I don't know, Gatorade to sponsor. Right? But if you're in a town or, a city and you've been there a little bit, there's a coffee shop that you go to.
Yeah.
There's a car dealership that you rock with. You know what I mean? Go to them. Say, hey, listen, I got this podcast, man. And for $250, I'll put you in 4 episodes. I'll just talk about your car dealership in the 4 episodes. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You go to the coffee shop, the car dealership, you go to the cleaners. You know what I'm saying? All the places you frequent, you go to the credit union. And now your podcast is monetized with your local businesses. And when you put that content out, it sounds rich. Like, yeah, today's episode is brought to you by Jim's Cleaners. Jim, he goes real crazy. He makes sure that you got the best themed clothing. And, they just delivered a brand new service where they'll dry clean your clothes and then drop them off at your house. Make sure that you sign up with Jim's. There's a link below. Today's episode, we going crazy with JD, talking about the power of sleep and why sleep needs to be so important. That's episode 1, right?
Yeah.
You start stacking that. Now you got your digital product, right? Which is basically the information about the physical product that you
Now,
sell.
hold on a second. Hold on. Can I go back to my episodes and put all this stuff in there?
Yeah, you 100%.
Bro.
Can. You 100% can.
Because I made it a thing. I'm not worried about monetizing.
Yep.
I'm not worried about. But now now
think
I
about
wouldn't
this.
mind it.
But think about this, JD. You don't even have to think about monetizing. Let me tell you about something else I'm into.
Give it
It's
to me.
crazy, right? Do you know what Morning Brew is?
I've heard of it. I have no idea what it is.
Do you know what Morning Brew is, y'all at all? Morning Brew is a newsletter,
Okay.
right? They have over 250,000 subscribers on Morning Brew. They deliver information, right?
Yep.
Now, newsletters are now the 7-figure companies, businesses. So you don't have to sell nothing. This is what I'm on right now.
Okay.
You can have a podcast, have a newsletter, deliver niched content 2 or 3 times a week, grow that newsletter to 100, 250,000. I mean, that's a whole nother thing, but you can grow it, right?
Yep.
A company will buy that from you. You can flip that for a multiple. Because they want the data. Morning Brew was sold for like, I don't know, like 7 figures or something. Like, something.
So what do you mean newsletter? What am I doing with this newsletter?
Bro.
Tell me.
So let's say niche information. I don't know. Let's say sleep better.
Yeah.
So you can have a newsletter all about how people can sleep better, how they could maybe position their bodies. Like, you can even collab with like sleeping experts, or, you could just present the information in the email. It's a branded email. So people that are subscribing to it, it's information that they want. It's kind of like if I'm watching the Lakers, I want to watch the Lakers.
Right.
So it's not spam. I'm signing up for this branded content. So it's different than if you're sending promotional emails. They're signing up for the information and looking forward to the email that's coming every week.
Yep.
Once a week, twice a week. So you grow that list. You grow your subscribers on the email. You keep, and it's a brand.
Right.
Companies will buy the brand. Business owners will buy the brand for a multiple because of the data, which is the newsletter.
Wow.
So Morning Brew was flipped for, a little, I don't know the numbers specifically, but I think 10 months they sold it for a little over 7 figures.
Wow.
And there's a email list of over 250,000 people. So you got to do some work.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're growing a list. So you're not even selling the product. You're thinking about the end game. But you can have a digital product, which we can talk further about if you like.
Yep.
Digital product. You can have a slew of affiliates. You know what I'm saying? You could turn hosts or guests into affiliate partners, right? JV partners.
Right.
And one of my favorites, you can have a community. So what if, I don't know if you already have this, but what if you had I keep saying sleep better, but what if you just had a sleep better community? So it's a community of people that you're giving information to. Maybe you have different meetups. Maybe you have a monthly Zoom. Maybe you're doing giveaways, but they're paying you $27 a month, $37 a month to know how to optimize
Right.
sleep, recovery. Maybe they got the perfect home setup, but maybe when they travel, they're on the road, they don't know how to turn a hotel room into like the most optimum. So now you're talking about how to keep the room at a certain temperature. Maybe you're talking about, hey, you can get this from CVS or Walgreens. It's small, but you can bring this into the room. Is it going to create this? It's going to affect your body this way. It's going to improve your sleep. So now you can monetize that. So if it's $27, or let's use a round number. Let's say it's $50.
Okay.
Right? So $50, right? So if you have 10 people on that, what is that? It's $500.
Yep.
Right? You got 20 people on this, $1,000 a month. Now your podcast is making $24,000 a year, well, $12,000 a year, right? Off of a $50, monthly subscription. And all you're doing is recycling the information. Now you're building a tribe. So now you can take it to the next level. What if you do quarterly meetups, quarterly retreats, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
You have a group of people that know, like, and trust you, that are paying into a community, right? A low ticket offer. So you can offer them other products and services down the line. You can introduce them to other things down the line. So now you have digital product sales. You have affiliate marketing. You have your community, right? You got this newsletter, which is a longer play, right?
Right.
You got your own local brand deals.
Love that.
You know what I'm saying? So now your podcast is monetized. You're only on episode 5 or 10. You made all this stuff happen.
Crazy.
You don't got no crazy subscriptions on YouTube, right? You don't got no crazy downloads from Spotify or Apple. You don't got none of that.
Yeah.
But now you got a 5-6 figure, potentially 7-figure podcast, and now you're just enjoying. I can't wait to go episode. Let's go. Like you want people to come. I can't wait to get to the studio to record, right? So when I discovered that, I didn't care how many views or downloads that I had, because there's people out here that have tons of views and downloads, and they don't have a show that makes money.
It's true.
But mine does.
Yeah.
Right, through these strategies. And obviously this is just a few, but like through these strategies, you can predict or reverse engineer that number that you want the podcast to make by doing these things. Right? You have to look at your channel as distribution. And that goes back to what, my agency. So my agency, Pod Agency, helps entrepreneurs and business owners get on podcasts to get more exposure. Why are they on podcasts to get more exposure? Because they want people to know about who they are and what they do.
Yep.
That means you have a distribution channel. So yeah, if you grow it, it becomes more valuable. If your listenership improves, if your viewership improves, it becomes more valuable.
More and more.
But there's still people at every level that could benefit from your platform. So you just have to make that available to the people. And if you got a brand new show, your local market is 100% available to you, especially if you live in a small town, because your podcast could potentially be the biggest thing there. Then you could do live shows at like the coffee shop if they got the space or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could now take your show on the road. Right? Now people can pay you to watch your show. Right? You could do a tour.
And for the people, because we're going to be doing, obviously clips of this, explain the mask again. Give it to me, because people tuning in now are people
Yeah. So y'all been watching this for a while, right? So you might just be picking up right now. So I'm on a tour. I put my own tour together. It's called the Audience Growth Tour.
Got it.
Right? So the problem with most entrepreneurs, I had the same issue, right? Is because you get stuck at a number. You can't make over 5K a month, 10K a month, maybe 50K a month. You just stuck, right? You
Right.
got to your ceiling. Now, the reason why you can't bust through your ceiling is because you don't need to necessarily do a whole new strategy per se. You don't necessarily need to fix your back end right now. You don't necessarily need to hire more people at the moment, which is what most people default to. And in some cases, you don't necessarily need to, which I think you do, but it kind of depends on where you are. You don't necessarily need to invest more on marketing, which some people don't. I think marketing needs to be number one. I'm just saying, if you have it, you don't necessarily have to spend a bag on marketing. What you need to do is utilize every single opportunity you have to get in front of people. Even if you go the free route, do it. Virtual podcasts, in-person podcasts, influencer marketing opportunities. If you can just, like what I did yesterday, I was speaking to a realtor out of Keller Williams. They, realtors, most of them still don't know how to market. They just calling and whatever. There's nothing wrong with that. But I can now put a presentation on in front of these realtors, right? That's exposure. They might need my services. So that's what they need to do. You need to get in front of people every single day or every week, whatever makes sense for you to do. But that needs to be part of your business model, part of your business plan. That by default is going to give you more clients.
Yep.
Right? Because the same avatar that you're currently exhausted exists in another market or maybe exists next door. They just don't know that you exist.
Right.
So the mask and the glasses, right, or the ski mask per se and the glasses, it's a symbol to let you know that you need to stop hiding. You need to go out and make sure you make connections. Stop hiding behind a laptop. Stop only communicating with, the people that you only sell to. You know who does this? Barbers are notorious for this. When the last time you got a message from a barber or even a hairdresser that said, "Thank you, can't wait for you to come to your next appointment"? They're so brash that he's coming back next week.
Yeah.
I'm going to see her next month. You know what I'm saying? But it would be perfect for them. You would probably be the category king in your town or city if you're a hairdresser or if you're a barber, right? None of them are doing any marketing or on any podcast. So as soon as you say, "Yeah, this is Benny's Barbers. We're the best in New Orleans. You know what it is. Come down, get fresh. We got we even got a section for the kids. If you go on every single podcast, TV or news in your marketplace, in your category, you're gonna easily be the category king or queen because they're not doing it.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're literally gonna take over, and it's evergreen content. What does that mean? That means I can go back and watch that episode that was on it. I could watch Benny on the news. I can listen to Benny on, he was on this, radio station. I can listen to him on all these different podcasts. Now, if Benny is smart or savvy, or he has a strategist like myself, I'll be like, Benny, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna collect all these clips. We're gonna redistribute it on your channel. First, we're gonna open up your YouTube channel. We're gonna redistribute all the long form on your YouTube. We're gonna make a second channel, put all your clips on the second channel. Now we're gonna activate or reactivate, because he may or may not be using this social media. We're gonna reactivate all your social media channels, and we're gonna put content on it every single day. And it's gonna be all from the existing content that's already out. And now you can start making new content that will go in between those pieces of content, talking about what you do. So now you have all these different platforms edifying you. You like right now, you're edifying me.
Yep.
Because I'm on your platform, and it's gonna be the reverse when you come on mine. So all these different platforms are gonna be edifying Benny. So Benny's just being Benny. He just happens to be on the show or on the podcast. He's just being Benny. So they learn about his story, they learn about his journey, they learn about why he uses gold clippers and not the platinum ones. They learn about like his style, how he got into barbering or whatever the case may be. So I'm like, damn, I need to go see Benny. Like, so now you pull up to Benny, you feel like you know Benny. Like, Benny, let me get the number 6. Like, you know what the number 6 is. Like, that Benny got like a secret haircut or something. Like, you know about Benny. You know that Benny got a sister and she's dealing with what. So now you bring in Benny money. Like, Benny, this is money for your sister's fund. And I brought my son to get a haircut. You know what I'm saying? It's like all from you just showing up talking about what you got going on the podcast. But guess what? A lot of this stuff is free. I didn't even talk about paying and investing to go on bigger platforms, which you can do. I'm just talking about the free ones that you just need to research. You know what I'm saying? So you can get with an agency like mine. We've already done the work. We do work every single day. So we get new shows and new platforms every single day. So
you can help brands do this.
100%. We do it all the time.
Yeah.
I just literally put this one of our recent clients on a 12-show in-person run in Atlanta. He did 12 shows in 5 days in Atlanta to promote his virtual event that's going down on January 7th.
My mind is already like I'm like tuning out now because I'm like thinking about
what I could do.
Yeah. But because okay, so here's what I want to get to the listeners and watchers real quick, because you got people right now that are fired up. They're like, okay, cool, but what the hell do I talk about? Yeah. Like, I don't have a business. Like, what about people that are in corporate America? Like, I don't want to be here forever. I don't want to be in a job for the next 40, 50 years of my life. I want in on this entrepreneurship thing, but I don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
For those people right now that are like in jobs or whatever, God bless them. Like that's great podcast, really cool, but what am I going to talk about? Give them some inspiration on, you don't have to be an entrepreneur. You don't have to be selling a product.
Yep.
Right? How do they get started if they're just like
fresh? So what I would say is this. In every marketplace, there's our problems. There's problems all around you.
Yep.
So there's 3 things that you could do to discover a problem or give you more to think about. So one would be, what is something that you enjoy doing that you're not getting paid from, but you can't wait to get off work to do it? What is that thing?
Yep.
Identify that. Number 2, what's the thing that everybody comes to you for? It's like your superpower. It's like the thing that you're best known for, right? But maybe you just don't even think about anything because it's just naturally you. What is that thing, right?
Yep.
Thirdly, what are some things in the marketplace that you realize could be improved or don't exist? Maybe let's think about the doorknob. Like, let's say the doorknob was on this side of the door, not this side of the door. You was like, damn, well, if it was over here, it would just be way better feng shui. Like, it just makes sense. Like, what are some things that can be improved about, things that you used in a day or you see on a job or you notice to experience? Like Uber was something, right? They were like, well, maybe there has to be something easier than taxis. That was an idea. So what is something that you can improve upon? If you can answer one of all of these questions, you have something to talk about.
Right.
I didn't say make a product out of it. I said you have something to talk about. What if you just want to review products?
Yep.
What if you want to just tell people about what you're experiencing today, right? So there's this Asian woman that I listen to. She's married, and she does a lot of reviews, but she speaks from a perspective of a married Asian woman who's she's mature in age, and she's married to someone that's well off, right?
Yep.
And then like her experience, like being able to have money and like how people view their relationship. But she talks from that perspective as she reviews products. So she's just her giving you her talking about some leggings, right? Because now we talked about affiliate marketing, which means you could be yourself, talk about a product that already exists, like these cups. So these are Dixie cups, right?
Yeah.
So JD and I could talk about these Dixie cups. Like I don't really like it. I don't like the color. You know what I'm saying? Like I wish they had the original style back in the day. Or you could be like, you know what, this cup is great. You know what I mean? Like, it's great for cold beverages, hot beverages. Actually, this is a flaming hot beverage right now. And it's great for kids. Like you can give this to your younger son or daughter and they could bring it to you and they won't get burned. Dixie.
Yeah.
There could be a link below. And you literally just reviewing products. What about how you feel about your iPhone?
Yeah.
Like you could just talk about your real life because people want the real.
They want the real.
They want the real. But you also have to make a commitment and stick to doing it and not expect that just because you started a podcast and everything that Brendan's saying that it could just happen all in a week. Because it can't. No. It can if you have influence.
Right.
So if you are an athlete or a celebrity or an influencer or even like an OF model, right? Or online model, you have an audience. And a lot of them aren't monetizing in the way that I explained. They're getting paid from being an entertainer or being an athlete,
right,
or on OF or being a regular model or whatever the case may be, right? Or even having like a large YouTube channel. They're getting paid through those channels, but they're not getting no subscription money, or they may not have any digital products. They may not have a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yep.
Once you introduce these new things, you start vibrating what you've already created. If you have an audience, you just have to introduce things to the audience.
Right.
Right. So let's say you're not that, but you have a friend that is, or you could reach out to an influencer or entertainer or athlete or something. You could collaborate with them. You got the idea. You know some of the strategies that we talked about. They got the audience. Y'all could do a JV. Y'all could do a collaboration. 2024 is a year of collaboration.
That's what it is.
Y'all could do collaborations and y'all could get money together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you could do that. Just imagine if you introduce a community, model to an athlete who doesn't know anything about that. And that athlete can talk about his experience of being an athlete, the ups and downs, the trainings, the food, just his life. Or maybe, he could talk about that, but let's say he's also into, I don't know, backgammon or poker or something.
Yep.
So it's like he infuses that information inside the community too. There's people out there that want more access, and you help them put that together, and you charge $40 a month, and y'all split the revenue. Now you paid every single month. You brought them new money every single month. You good to go. And you didn't have to have an audience. You just had to connect the dots, which goes back to what we started originally. You needed to hit the little Mario box, build a relationship, and then you could discover that, oh man, I could do something with JD. I could do something with Caitlin and her dad. I could do something with the bus driver. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could start discovering all these different opportunities and possibilities that you can do by communicating. You know what I'm saying?
This all comes full circle at the end of the day here, man. Right? Massive success. You can have it all if you're willing to get out of your comfort zone and meet people.
Yeah. And think about it. People were taught to be introverts.
Yes.
That's
correct.
Because when you're born, you want to get into everything.
Everything.
You try to get into everything. You try to break out the crib.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They can't stop you from wanting to get back after you fall.
Climbing out of the crib.
Yeah, you just trying to you want to be in everything.
Play with everything. Touch with everything.
So programming, parenting, different environments, different energies, different modalities, they subconsciously program you and teach you to be less than
Wow.
your true essence. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, if God designed you in, his image, then the image is godly. Like, you are a version, you're a creator.
Yeah.
So if you're a creator that forgot that you're a creator, then that means you're ignoring the power that exists within you. You know what I'm saying? We all have the power. We all have different versions of it, but we all got the power. We're all creators.
We're all creators. We're all born with it.
Yeah. Just imagine this, man. I can have an idea today. I can share it with you. We could decide that this is a great idea. You have your resources. I have mine. We can make money today or tomorrow. We can help somebody say it tomorrow because of what we thought about. So that means the value isn't in the dollar, it's in the thoughts. So you can monetize your thoughts. So if I could just hang out with JD, he talked to me, and I just come up with a crazy idea because of our conversation, and I can monetize that, that means the value is really in me.
Yeah.
It's in
the
exchange. It's in us, right? And I put that out to the world, and Sarah needs it, and so does Jim, and they're happy to pay me. That means there's nothing wrong for me to get paid. There's nothing wrong with me to serve.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with me to be compensated for serving, because that's what God designed me to do. That's why I'm here. And at a time that's allotted to me, right? So the thing about life is, like, you're here for a long time, but it's a short time.
Right.
Right? And one of the scariest things I've seen, but it's a real thing, is like this. So if you Google what the average year of life is for, like, a healthy male or female.
Yeah.
Let's say, I don't know, let's say for a guy it's 80. Let's say for a girl it's 93. So think about that in perspective relative to how old you are right now.
Yep.
So if let's say you are 40, and for a guy it's 80, that means you got 40 years left of life. And if you break that down into holidays, that means you got 40 Christmases left, 40 Thanksgivings, 40 birthdays. You know what I'm saying? 40
summers, 40 summers.
Exactly. So what you gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying? And you may live longer than that. But if you wasted this amount of time, or you didn't take that serious, you got this amount of time that's in front of you, and you're more cognitive of what's available to you and what you can do with the time that's available. Wouldn't you want to get more serious about that?
You would think.
Bro, I woke up this morning after I didn't really get that much sleep. I was excited to be here, but I woke up this morning at 2. I did some stuff prior to that, hit the road, drove out here. I'm here with you. I'm going to eat, chill, make some calls. I got another podcast at 4 p.m., and then I'm going to drive back home. Last week I was in Vegas. I did the same thing. Did 2 shows, came back, right? Because I want to get my message out, but I want to meet people like you and make these connections and build.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what are you willing to do to get what you truly want? And everything that you want, you can have if you're willing to do the work to do it. Because if JD tells me there's something that he wants, we can reverse engineer the path to get there. That means we can figure it out.
And listen, you're giving big numbers here, 80, 90. The average life expectancy is in the 70s.
There you go.
Okay. And and talk about the importance of health.
Yeah.
Like, that's for healthy people.
All right,
What are people that aren't taking care of themselves?
Let's be real quick, right?
Give it to me.
When do you think this episode will be out?
I'd say probably 2 to 3 weeks from now.
All right, so we're gonna miss. We're in New Year's in real time, but we're gonna miss. This episode is gonna be missed. It's gonna be after New Year's.
Correct.
So what's about to happen? What's about to happen is people are going to happily. Okay, let's take it back. Let's take it back for a second.
Yeah.
This is my New Year's resolution. This is my New Year's resolution.
Yes.
This is my New Year's resolution. I'm gonna take it serious. This year's a year, but you're gonna start in the back seat because you're about to go to the club, drink crazy, not even be able to start your new year on day 1. So that means you got day 1 and day 2 is out of here.
Right.
Gone. So that means you don't really start New Year to day 3, and now you're like sluggish, right?
Yep.
You're not even already hydrated properly going into celebrating, right? So now you're more dehydrated. You didn't eat well because you're dehydrated. You ate a bunch of food crazy, and it's late night. So now what's available? Pizza, hot dogs,
Yeah.
French fries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
and you do it, you're about to physically, intentionally go into the new year. Millions of people about to go do this.
Millions.
Yeah. They're literally about to do this. So they're not going to start the new year to day 3. So all that, this is what I want, this is my resolution, that's smoke.
Yeah.
Because they really wanted that. And I'm not saying that you can't go out. Because you can. You can go out and not drink and go crazy and still enjoy, get to bed at a proper time and wake up and day one you taking
It's doable.
It's doable.
However,
you could be in a bad environment and still be the light in the bad environment. But the majority of people, the highest percentage of people aren't going to do that.
Right.
So what I'm saying is you have to be more intentional about what is it that you really want. Right? And most people are going to say they want something different on a day that don't really exist, because New Year's could be any day. It's a calendar.
Yeah.
Arizona, right? The state of Arizona doesn't even have daylight savings. They're like the only state that doesn't have. That means you can do whatever you want.
Right.
They decided that daylight savings doesn't make sense, so we're not going to do it for the entire state. So there's MST, CST, EST, PST, but we ain't participating in none of that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So one time zone part of the year we're this time, and another time zone part of the year we're this time. We're going to do what we want to do, which means all this is man-made. So you're deciding to go crazy on a holiday that doesn't really exist. It's just on the calendar. And put yourself back 2 or 3 days for a resolution that you don't really want. It sounds good, but you're not really into it. And sacrifice this to really go after that. That's the time we on, bro.
Come on. Because listen, it's like, if that doesn't motivate you, like knowing I've only got 30 more, like you said, to do something.
Yeah.
What holds people back? Like, what is the number one thing that holds people back?
It's belief.
Belief.
It's belief.
Okay, hit on that.
I suffered on that too, bro. It's like, I think I think the most money I made when I was in Boston in a month was like 20,000, maybe 25,000. And that's good money. I'm not saying it's not good money. Like, that's good money. It wasn't consistent. It was based off of, me selling homes and stuff. But it's the most, I didn't make 20,000, working at a job. I made it in sales, right? So when I was in LA, you got to think about it. I quit all of that. And my first product I sold was that mentorship, right? Which is $300. So I made $1,500 in 7 days, right? Just offering a product.
Right.
Then the price changed to $5K. Then it changed to $7,500. But I went to like a mastermind, and I met one of my coaches, Nehemiah Davis. And I remember one of the first things before I even knew who he was, he just came in the room with the energy. He was like, yo, you got a product, you got a service, you sell something, double it. Double the price. Just double it right now. Subsequently, I happened to have a call scheduled that same day with like a client to re-up. It was like his last day in the program or whatever. And I just took what he said. He said, double it, I'm doubling it. Had the conversation, and at that time, my product was like $7,500. So I said, yeah, man, so if you want to re-up, this is the value you're going to get, and it's only $15,000. He's like, yeah, man, let's go. So he gave me $9K deposit on a $15K product that I just decided it was going to be this price because my mentor gave me the belief that it's worth more and I should just double the price. So the value is not tied to time. It's tied to the offer and what you're going to do. So if you could solve someone's problem, you could charge what you want. So if Steve Jobs could pay, let's say $50 million to live 1 or 2 years longer, and he has the money, he's spending the money because he values that. So that means that if you can solve someone's problem, like if you got a toothache, you're going to pay me whatever to solve that.
Yeah.
As fast as possible.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So once I realized that, you know what I mean? And I realized that, I could be paid for my value that I can create, and I could solve someone's problem, then that's when it went crazy. Like once you see something and once you see something, hear something, you can't unsee it, you can't unhear it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so belief.
It's belief, it's discipline, it's the environment.
And what holds people back also? Fear.
Fear, 100%, which doesn't exist. It's a figment of your imagination. Okay. When you was a kid, you was fearless. I'm trying to tell you, you was a kid, you was in your purest state. Kids be jumping off of cribs. I put my foot in a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Just to see what happened. Just to see what would happen. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like kids are gonna do whatever, bro. They're the highest. We're created at the highest level. We're all born Lambos, Ferraris, Rolls Royces, Bugattis. We're born like that.
Highest vibration that
What
exists.
happens is we're in an environment that makes you believe you're. And I like Kias. The Kia got a really nice design right now, so I'm not saying anything bad about Kia. But you get programmed to believe you're a Kia or a Hyundai. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All due respect.
All due respect. You know what I'm saying? Or a bird scooter. Right? And you think that's normal. You know what I'm saying? That's how.
Think about that.
That's the program that you're around. And if you're in a bad environment, you're like, you know what? I want to be a Ferrari. Your friends is like, a Ferrari? You can never be that. Because their program thinks the same way. They don't want you no better than them, so now they're going to tell you to stay down.
So I don't know if you noticed on my website, it's so the title of this show, obviously Real Deal Talk, but it's We Were All Born to Win.
Yeah, 100%.
That's the title of my show.
Yeah.
But then I talk about how we were all programmed to lose.
Programmed to lose. 100%.
All of us.
Yeah.
Everybody listening, watching this, we have been programmed since day one to no.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go against the norm. Don't
Yeah.
step outside the box.
Yep. Don't ask for a raise. Yeah, don't ask for a raise. And if you ask for one, it should only be like 1%.
And all right, we got to land this plane. Let's land the plane on. Talk to me about, because fear, right?
Yeah,
fear holds people back, and the biggest fear is what people are scared of what people will think about them.
Yeah,
right.
100%.
AKA haters. How much do we need hate? Talk to me about haters and how much we need to embrace people that are talking smack about us.
I think you need to embrace that because it can fuel you. You know, like it may you embracing somebody telling you that you can't do something is what you may need to prove to them that you can do the thing. And I think if you don't have that energy, it might not motivate you to want to go to that next level.
Yeah.
You know, like that's what happened with the Wright brothers. They said you can't fly.
You can't fly.
They proved everybody wrong. And even when they was flying, people were saying that you still can't fly, even though they were flying.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So you can literally do whatever you want. And sometimes when you move out of your environment or you get around different people or you go deeper in your personal development, one of the worst things that you can do is go back to your old environment too soon. Because you're going back to your own environment too soon may keep you stuck.
Right.
Or you may be like, let's think about relationships. If you're in a relationship with someone and you're on this path to be greater and, you know, they could care less about that, they're super comfortable where they are, they're not going to be supporting your journey.
No, not at all.
Right? Which the thing is this. If I want abs, it may take me a long time to get abs. I got to sacrifice some things. I got to do ab work every day. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're helping me improve my sleep. Like, there's things I got to do. But I can eat a donut in a minute and mess up the abs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. If you go back to your environment, you don't have the mental strength, right? You don't have the discipline, the accountability. You go back too soon, or if you're in an environment that's not serving to your growth, it can stunt or have you go back super fast.
Yep.
So that's why discipline, accountability, commitment, sacrifice, new goals. That's why being healthy is a new luxury, bro.
And I talk about this a lot with haters. Like, you really know you're onto something when people when people start commenting negative stuff on your socials.
100%.
That's when you know you've arrived.
Yep.
Like, every time I get and I'm getting more negative comments now.
Yeah. You about to get one today? Like, yo, you had a dude come out here with a ski mask? What was you
I
thinking,
hope so.
JD?
Every time I get one, and my daughter follows my social. She's 12. She's like, Dad, that person's talking. Why is he talking like she wants to get in there and fight him?
Yeah.
I'm like, baby, no, this is good. She's like, what do you mean it's good? I'm like, because unless people are talking about you and talking smack or hating on you or negative about you, then you're not doing anything.
Yeah, you're not doing
You ain't doing nothing.
Yep.
Nobody's talking about people that aren't doing something.
100%.
Nobody.
Yeah, look at all smoke Elon getting. He getting smoked.
Smoked.
You know what I'm saying? He getting smoked right now.
Smoked.
Because he's doing stuff. He's pushing against what people feel like is safe. You know, like, bro, he created a whole electric category and opened the patent for competition.
Yeah.
He could have just closed the patent and just been going crazy on Tesla only. He was like, nah, listen, open patent. Y'all do what y'all want to do.
Crazy.
Thank me later.
Right.
And that just improves him. You know what I'm saying? It improves his product and service because he's not thinking from a lack mindset.
And ladies and gentlemen, listen to me. You want to strive to get to the point where people are talking shit about you.
100%.
You have to. Because as soon as they are, you know you're onto something.
And then you just double down.
Double down.
You get more of that. You talk more of that.
More,
you go to more opportunities. You lean into it. You know what I'm saying?
And get in the conversations.
Yeah.
Like, I reply to people in a positive way. And because you know why? On social media, guess what? There's a thing called algorithm.
Yeah.
So the more people commenting, positive or negative, especially negative, your algorithm goes up. Right?
Yeah.
So they're actually helping you.
And then guess what? You can monetize all the hate if you got a product or service in your link.
That's right.
And then you can literally take the content that's negative.
Come on.
Make new content. Comment. You can do a review or basically give feedback on the negative content about you. Put that on your platform or in your stories. And then just monetize it that way. Hey, listen what they said about me. They're talking about, I can't make money with this digital product. Digital product is stupid. You see this dude right here?
Yeah.
You see how much I made last week? If you want to make money with this, click the link in the bio. Like, you could, whatever it is.
Bro, come on. It's that simple.
You could repurpose the repurpose.
It's that simple. I had there's some dude last week, because I show my leg presses from the also gym stuff, and he was like talking shit because I wasn't going deep enough, and I'm like, bro, I'm 52. You know. Anyway, he was talking. He couldn't handle it. He was pissed, bro. That's not depth. But it was funny because, and to your point, if I talk about that, get people involved in this conversation,
give them involved. Be like, yo, look what this dude said. He said I'm not going deep enough.
This dude's 32.
He ain't even going. He's not even working out. Let's look at his page.
He's 20. He could be my kid.
He ain't got no workout pictures. Nothing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could literally use that.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically what a meme is.
I love it.
You know what I mean? That's basically what a meme is.
Oh
same
my
thing.
gosh, this is beautiful. All right, so end this here with, give me something, a final note for the listeners. Where, obviously, let's start by where they can find you on. I'm going to list it all on this anyway, but tell them the business, where they can find you. Let's start there, and then hit them with a final word of inspiration to do something, to get off the couch or get out and put themselves out there.
Well, number one, again, it's been great being here. You know, I'm pretty sure that you and I will continue to make some content and do more stuff. So if you guys enjoyed this and you want to, take advantage of, you maybe getting on a free podcast or something like that, I have a training for you to teach you how you can monetize from just guesting, right? What you want to do is text the word guest to 213-410-4920. There's a free training there, a lot of value for you. Guest 213-410-4920, and you can find me on Instagram at it's Brendan Boyd, ITS Brendan BOYD.
Nice. Okay, now hit him with a final word, and we're gonna land the plane, bro. Give him the people listening to this thing, because what we want to do is we want to inspire people to put themselves out there.
100%. So, what I would say is just make a decision. That's number one. So you have to decide that you want to be better, decide that you want to be greater, and decide that the version of you that exists maybe today, you listen to that, is not the version of you that you want in the future. There's people in your family, there's people in your life that they may not be directly or maybe indirectly count on you, but for you to serve them and for you to help them, you have to become more. So they're relying on you indirectly or directly to become more.
Love it.
So if you're not willing to decide and then follow up those decisions, you're going to continue to be where you are. And that's not where God designed you to be. And that's not where JD or myself will like you to be. So just decide to become better and, get into a mentorship, get into a book. One of my favorite books, I would say right now is, there's a lot of favorite ones I got right now. But Bob Proctor.
Yep.
Bob Proctor has a book right now. I forget the name of it, but what I would do, I would just go to Audible or YouTube, and I would just look up Bob Proctor. Whether you're doing Bob Proctor's just content, one of his trainings, or you just get into one of his books, that's a great way to start your journey, just being around that energy and in that mindset, and then that will lead you to other things.
Yep.
And I would protect my energy, meaning whatever time you have aside for yourself, protect that and take it seriously. Because you may not necessarily know the path, but if you're around the energies and the sound and the information, your mind's going to start working in a different way.
Yeah.
So you need to start feeding yourself every day. So I would decide that you want better and you want greater. Write that down. What's the 1, 2, or 3 things you want to accomplish in 2024. And then, start and put a plan together to reverse engineer that. Because if you reverse engineer that, that's the path to getting there.
Love it, dude. And you're great. What you just shared is, You don't need to know how it's going to go. You don't even need to know the plan.
People don't even know how to get home.
Yeah.
Think about this. When it's night outside, right? You're wherever you're at. Do you see how to get home?
Yeah.
You don't see it.
No.
You're going to do navigations or you know the streets eventually, but you can't see home.
Right.
So it's the same thing. We want to be successful.
Love that.
People are afraid because they can't see how they're going to get there, but you can't even see how you're going to get home. You can't see how you're going to get to the grocery store, but you're trusting. I'm going to get in this car. I'm going to go to the red light. I'm going to take the right. I'm going to park, get the carriage. I'm in the grocery store. You're putting that in your mind. That means you created, right, what you think is going to happen, which means it's make believe.
Right.
So if you can create the idea of anything that you want to do today, you could do that with you becoming successful.
Yep.
Because it's the same thing. You basically made yourself believe that this is it. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's something as small as going to the grocery store.
Exactly.
You got to have the picture in your mind first.
100%. People don't realize, like, I'm 20 years in on this journey, 52 years old. I know where I'm going to end up. I absolutely know where this is going. I just don't know exactly I have no idea how it's going to happen, how it's going to unfold. No idea. So, and like you said, man, and this is if you want to be someone different, but if you feel in your heart, deep down, that you are meant for greater things, meant to do something bigger, that God put you here for a reason, this is what Brendan's talking about.
100%. So,
my man,
you got to stay with this podcast. JD's bringing on fire guests.
Come on.
Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this out with, 3 or 4 people.
Yes.
Stay committed to watching the podcast, tapping in on the YouTube side or audio side. He's definitely giving you valuable content, valuable information. And this is exactly one of the best podcasts that you need to continue to tap into.
Come on, man. It's been an absolute honor, a pleasure. Brendan Boyd, thank you for sharing your very valuable time with me. That's a wrap. Real Deal Talk. Let's go. Let's go.